Happy Friday.
Welcome.
Welcome.
To the stream.
Hey, what's up?
It's
Robert,
me,
kicking
the
it off.
philosopher, and Jack over here.
That's right.
It's Friday.
Yeah. We're
Some
excited.
people call it Friday. It's the start of the weekend.
We got Matthew checking in again. If you
Hey, a J and P
are on let me see, if you're on Facebook or maybe Twitter, go to the YouTube down below, the YouTube for Philosopher. That way you can see your comments. You can participate better. So again, if you're not on there, go to the YouTube. There is a link there down below that you can see. Yes. And I'll even post it to everybody just to let everybody know. So here's the YouTube link. I'm gonna post it down for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So what's up?
All right, welcome everybody. Yeah. So as you see above, we are doing this in support of our new campaign for the music video, Anti-State. So this is a song we did several months ago. We did release it this year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna do the music video next, and we're hoping we can do it in New York City. So check out the campaign. Hope you'll see like the different support perks we have. Like you can get your name on the roll credit, and then if you have a business or something, or if you just like having your name, on a piece of history, you could say, or a time capsule, you can check that out. So yeah, go see the roll credits there, and igg.me/@/anti-state.
Yeah, and still seeing people coming in. What's up, Jennifer? What's up, Matt? Hey. What's up again, Robert? There.
I like how Matthew said J and P. Like, I think that sounds like a cool rap group name. J and P.
So he says ATF has been getting their PP slapped at just about every turn over tyranny, because ATF's been trying to mess with people in their braces and stuff. Yeah, so hopefully some good suits are successful there, both on the frame receiver issue and on the what you call it, the braces. So
it'd be nice to have like actual full auto again, and not have to like get an NFA or whatever.
So Bigs and Bigs, you got Jack's cool.
That's like a rap name too. You Bigs MP Bigs.
Yeah. So basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having some fun, playing some games, you could say.
We'll also be, we're so excited.
Talking about current events and talking about other things. For the specifics on the
drink
super chat thing. So, on the campaign thing. So tonight
we got the Don.
We'll do the Don. So
the Don.
And so basically, with any support on the campaign, we'll take an honorary shot with you. So we'll be drinking with you tonight. And once we get our first support, we'll show you the glasses, because the glasses are very special. I think you'll enjoy them.
We'll
wait to show it until it happens.
They fit me. So just think about
no more spoilers.
Imagine,
but yes,
what would fit me?
What would fit
and
you?
Just
That's
imagine that.
So, hey, what's up, Essential Libertarian? Saying hi here.
Hey, you're the Essential Libertarians. Wow, what's up, Jennifer? The good stuff. Hey, I like your picture.
The good stuff.
That's a sunset. That looks really pretty.
Kurt says, "Oh no, I'm not allowed that stuff." Yeah, it's intense. Don Julio, it's very nice. It's very nice, but
true moderation. You just don't have too much sugar, but you can have a little bit.
So we'll also be talking about anything and everything that's been going on recently. We'll talk maybe a little bit about Queen Elizabeth, because so many people just are like, "Oh my gosh, the Queen passed," and it's like, how the heck? I mean, if you're American already, right? You literally are in a country that was built around fighting the monarchy,
right,
in the first
escaping
place,
British rule and escaping the monarchy she is, a part of.
Yeah,
right. She inherited.
right. And again, it's one thing if it's like you're critiquing someone and she's just born a kid or a teen or something like that, and it's like, okay, yeah, of course, someone born and they're young, they're it's not their fault, they didn't choose that. But this is not a young person. This is someone who literally was reigning for 70 years, a 96-year-old, and across that whole period of her life, not at any point, with all the riches that she had, never a thought to be like, you know what, maybe we should stop doing this.
I'd love to know, like, all these people, like even some libertarians, like, what evidence do you have that she actually is a libertarian? you know, and is
well, she's
not actually part of promoting the New World Order and the Great Reset.
Well, I mean, it's also, I mean, that's just silly in itself
We're
to even
gonna
say
get banned.
what evidence is libertarian, because it's she never gave up her literal position, and her whole existence, you know, in terms of funding, comes from multiple means of tax revenue and extortion from other countries. So we'll even talk a little about that history.
Yeah,
So we can
go into that. We can go into some. We have some articles pulled up on the side here.
We do. So
yeah,
I'm gonna quickly link
check
here.
out the campaign, see where we're at.
Yeah. So I'm gonna real quick here. I'm gonna share the screen just to give us the kickoff before we start looking at some articles.
Definitely.
Like that.
Let's talk through.
So if you look here again, just reminding everybody, the Anti-State music video campaign, we're already at
this is where we're starting.
1,072. Yeah, 21%. So it's been awesome. We kicked it off really strong. We have a 5K goal, which is technically a pretty humble goal, because doing music videos of high quality, it's very expensive, you know, in terms of just getting the right equipment and people, wardrobe and stuff like that. So we're just trying to make this work by basically shooting outdoors and sticking to one wardrobe and working with someone who's giving us a great deal. And he's very talented. We're super excited. Someone we will actually, we're even thinking about working with the last music video, but it just wasn't going to work out with what we wanted production wise. So this music video is going to be pretty,
and everything.
Yeah, pretty amazing, because we're just working within a narrow confine to like make it work within the budget. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. So we're up to that 21% mark. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get at or close to it. If we do reach it, I did say this, on the campaign, maybe we'll have a little meetup for supporters in New York City. We'll have a little getting fun together. So
I've never been to New York City, and I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of Chinese restaurants and Vietnamese restaurants there. I mean, you know.
Right.
So I definitely want to go see. I don't know. Do we do dim sum? Do we do a Chinese restaurant?
Obviously, you got to do pho.
I mean, I know. So, I'm the philosopher, and I'll get pho thai and goiku.
So exactly. So I mean, if you're in that area, obviously not everybody lives in New York City, and you really shouldn't, because it's a really bad place to live. But
some people live nearby, though.
People live nearby, right?
And they could just drive. Right. They're in the Northeast.
Drive. Sometimes you take a bus shuttle or whatever, train, this or that. There's a lot of people who live in the surrounding area where it's not too bad.
What's a bus shuttle?
So basically,
you mean bus/shuttle?
Yeah, so it's essentially a regular bus service that might run from, like, for example, DC area, Boston, or someplace in Virginia, whatever. There's lots of ways people can visit some of that. So we'll see what happens. But if we hit the 5K, we'll have a little get together for people who support the campaign to hang out for a little bit, get some fun stuff like that. So
awesome, that would be great. I mean, frankly, it'd be really fun, and I think also if we can, if we hit goal, we would also just invite existing subscribers, right? Like through Patreon and Subscribestar.
Well, we'll talk about that at a different time, but basically this, just for the campaign supporters,
at least for sure. Yes. Yeah. Any backers on this campaign, we would.
Right. So so we would have a special invite, limits people who, support on the campaign kind of thing for that.
Cool. So, another reason to support of many. I mean, help us make a cool music video in New York City with this guy named Vinny. Okay, am I allowed to say that? Okay.
No, you weren't. So we're gonna have to shut this down now. Okay.
All right,
we're going away now. Sorry. Bye. All right. Okay, just kidding. But no, it's fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're all good. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And also on the campaign itself, I got so scared. Actually can even get screen credit. So we have an executive producer spot for the front. We have an end credit executive producer. We also have roll credit. Number of people got roll credits as well.
In the beginning, executive producer.
Could happen.
Anti-state.
It's a possibility. It's still open for right now until someone picks it up.
Lloyd.
So we have that, and and even if you just want to get in at the end credits, call it the roll credits. It won't be like physically rolling, but it's just the idea of credits at the end kind of thing. And a lot of people do that for I Did Not Consent. It was awesome. So really, thank you for everybody too who's on I Did Not Consent, that music video, because that came out awesome.
Yeah,
that was a super cool video.
Jason Rink, right, was the executive.
Yeah, Jason Rink. It was the executive producer on that video. So
thank you, Jason. That was really cool.
So Essential Libertarians here just did a super chat and kept my grind, Hang with Jack and Pho, and Brandon on my mind.
Hey.
So we are, I guess we're also going to have to show our amazing Hangman game.
You made this. Jack made this.
Yeah. So
So hangman with any 5+. Okay, I see.
So basically,
I gotcha.
we have this hangman here. It's, as you can see, it's very ornate and beautiful. But it's a place, and as you can see, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. So essential libertarians, whenever we see you put in a letter as your choice, we'll throw you in there. So
okay, he says yeet. I did not consent. Yes, please.
Yeah. So once he throws in a letter, we'll put that in there.
Does this violate the NAP? LOL. All right, guess what's a letter? What's a letter? I mean, don't answer that question. I mean, like, what letter do you choose?
Right, and the only person you can pick is the essential libertarian. So even if you put a letter, we will only.
I like how these other people are like,
they want to pick a letter. Definitely, like you can just gotta do a super chat or
they're probably giving you hints. You know, feel free.
I don't know if it's a hint. It seems like a wild guess because of the first one.
I thought they were trying to spell something together collectively in the chat, but they're not. It's random letters.
So in the meantime, until he pulls up, so once the essential libertarians pulls up a letter for us to use, we'll take a look at the civil list.
The queen is dead. The essential libertarians.
So yes. So the civil list here is.
Oh wait, he said why.
Okay, so he picked why. Okay, all right. So he says why.
I like how we just assume you're a dude.
Well, we know who it is.
Oh, we.
I know who it is.
Oh.
So
I look straight at the camera. Imagine that's
Kareem.
At you, the essential. Oh, what's up,
so
Kareem?
He picked why, and
everything makes sense now that you've written.
Yes. So let me go ahead. I need to actually find these tools because it's terrible.
All right. Why?
Yeah. Why did I click the word thing? I don't even know. Okay, there we go. Got it away. So I have to now draw something because basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was terrible. Hold on.
Yeah, basically it's not a letter. The essential libertarians.
There we go. Okay. So but now I have to put in somehow not P or not Y. Sorry. I was thinking.
Do you want me to take over? No, I got it. I've been doing paint since I was a little kid. I can do this paint job.
Okay, I was just gonna place a letter, but if you really want to.
Fine, you can.
So Y is no good. Okay.
All right. Feel free, anybody. So it's as you can see at the top, hangman with any $5 plus. That's a super chat. So we'll do hangman. You can guess a letter, or if you support our campaign, which is what we're really looking forward to, because we want to do this in New York City and have it produced there. Really use the landscape. Also visit there and also do a meetup if we hit the goal. That'd be awesome. So yeah, check out the campaign. If you do 25 plus on the campaign, we'll take a shot. And we haven't even shared the type of shot. Earlier I said you should imagine.
We shared the drink, just not what it's being drunk out of. So that's the top secret. So again,
all right, we'll wait till the first one. Sounds good.
We will wait until the first support on the campaign, 25 or more, and then we'll show what it is. Okay.
All right.
So let's go ahead here to the share screen and take a look here. So the civil list here, because we're just going through with the ways that the monarchy / royal family is funded. So historically, they got funded, routinely through what's called the civil list. And this is from Encyclopedia Britannica. So in the United Kingdom, the list of sums appropriated annually by Parliament pay the expenses of the sovereign and his or her household.
The word appropriated is actually like more honest. I mean, it's more accurate, right? Appropriated.
Yeah, they appropriated, aka it came from Parliament, aka it came from taxes. Wow, what do you know? So the custom of the civil list dates to 1689, when Parliament, on the accession of William and Mary, voted £600,000, which at that time it's a lot more money than today. Now, 1689 with inflation, right? Specifically for civil expenses. So through this first Civil List Act in 1697, revenues estimated to yield about £700,000 were assigned to the monarch to cover civil and royal expenses. Previously, these expenses had been paid entirely from the monarch's hereditary revenues and from certain taxes voted to the sovereign for life by Parliament. So again, before this kind of formal way of doing it, they had taxes, they had hereditary revenues, which is a fun way of saying the spoils from pillaging and
I don't want to
conquest.
say some of you understand this. It's just for people who are saying like, "Oh, the queen! Oh no, my queen!
Right.
She was so elegant. She was so gracious."
She was a very gracious welfare queen.
Oh my gosh. And some people are like, "No, she's private, you know, she keeps these other world governments in check." I'm like, "What are you talking about? She's literally part of it." What?
Right, of course.
Her and the royal family. You remember the Epsteins and her son, Prince Andrew? You know?
Right.
Like, what is that?
Of
We're
course.
gonna talk about this. It's like, what's all this like? Oh, idealizing this queen, you know, Queen Elizabeth II. Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're talking about what is that, well, that's because everyone is
probably too many Disney princess movies. Maybe I'm projecting, but that's probably where it comes from. You know, you watch too many Disney princess movies, like, oh, I want to be saved. Oh, I will wear the crown. I will rule over everybody, and I have the right because I'm the queen. And I'll have a king. Anyway, it's really common, you know, that narrative. It's not just Disney movies, but it's in so many things. I mean, Game of Thrones, it was so popular, that show, and that's all about rule and kings and queens, and also murdering to get power.
Right.
Just like the British monarchy history. Like, if you look up the history of the British monarchy, it's actually really crazy how bloody it is, and like uncles killing nephews killing uncles, you know, like killing parents, whatever. It's like, it's just so bloody. It is just messed up, like family against family just to get power. And you know, it's really interesting. Like, you think of the people who are born into the system. I mean, you look at Queen Elizabeth II, she took rule really young, right? Like, wasn't she like, I don't know, like early 20s or something young, you know, something young. But like, it, you know, forgot the point I was going with that. But anyway, we got give me an A. Kurt, yeah, I did. I'll remember it later. Kurt O'Nor, thank you so much. He says, give me an A.
All right. So he says, give me an A. We're going to do an A.
Oh, is there an A?
Let's see what we
Kurt
got here.
O'Nor. Oh,
okay. So sadly for Kurt, there is not an A.
Sorry, Kurt O'Nor. But thank you so much. There is no A.
There is no A.
And just so you know, that X is not a letter guessed. It means letters guessed.
Right, letters
guessed. That were wrong.
Right.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Go. So unfortunately, A.
That's a good body. I mean, it helps, you know,
the
paint tools, the digital tools there.
It definitely helps. So thank you for your support there.
It made you draw a perfect circle. You can never do that. Can you imagine doing that in real life?
It'd be very difficult. Absolutely.
You know, the guy who did it once, he's like, okay.
All right.
But yeah, so we're still at 11 backers on the campaign. No one wants to see what kind of shot glass we got for you that fits me so well. I want to see. I mean, I know what it's like, but I want to show you guys.
It's definitely worth seeing. It's going to be hilarious.
You guys are gals.
So,
by the way, there is no they. I just want to tell you, there is no collective. Okay.
There is a they. When you talk about plural people.
I know, but as an individual, you cannot be a they.
What if you have multiple personalities?
Because you're not a collective. You technically have one body. And if you have multiple personalities, that's like, that's like a psychology thing. Physically, in manifest reality, you have one body. So anyway, just boy or girl, folks. Female, he, she, it's really easy.
All right, we're all over the fucking place, but we will continue here.
All right.
On the
It's called the Hangout.
Yeah, it is.
Was this called The Queen is Dead? No, we titled it The Hangout.
We're hanging out.
We didn't even take a shot yet.
Not even a shot. We're almost there, I'm sure. So, all right. So before what we were talking about here was that George the First here, right? We're talking about the civil list and the history of how the royal family got their monies, which, as you saw, taxes, theft, conquest, blah, blah. But later on, it gets interesting because it says during the reign of George I, the civil list became a fixed sum, with Parliament paying any debts that were incurred. So it became like a fixed amount. But then with George II, they were assigned revenues in addition to fixed grants and a guaranteed total of £800,000, which was like tens of millions of pounds in modern money. It's a lot of money. So
even 100,000 pounds.
George the
like,
Third.
why? That's theft.
Oh, massive. I mean, this huge amount of money
Even
back then.
$2. That's like, why?
So, well, because yeah. So basically, they use this money here. George III, he made a political tool of his civil list, rewarding his supporters in Parliament with secret pensions and bribes. So it was already being used as
the revolving door.
Right, as a revolving door tool.
Pay your friends, your family.
The tax money was given to the monarch, who then used it to pay off their friends. And
as old as time.
Right.
This is like what, the 1700s, 1600s?
This is the 16 and 1700s
they go
we're talking
way back,
about now.
don't they? How old does the British monarchy go back? Like,
oh, really?
At least 1700.
We're talking.
We know at least 1776.
I mean, it depends on how far back I guess you go.
Yeah.
Like I think what is this? Kenneth the First.
Oh
no, he died 858.
That's so long ago. 858. I can't even comprehend how long ago that is. That's
during
like
the first millennium.
Time.
Yeah.
People were so different then. People died really early. There was no one who's like 100 years old in 858.
Not too many now.
Oh, there were some.
I'd have to look it up, but probably not. The life expectancy was pretty short. So
yeah, like 16 is like 20. 30,
yeah.
30. 30 was like, whoa, British. You're 30? Dang.
Definitely British. So I'm going to skip ahead in time. Queen Elizabeth II received a civil list of 475,000 pounds. So she actually was herself a recipient of the civil list money. And she came to the throne in 1952. Inflation affected the list over the years, right? Like, oh no, it's only amounting to some $10 million pounds annually.
My gosh. No. Okay, I just want to say, like, even just that one sentence, it's like, in 1952, 475,000 pounds, right? But then they're like, oh, okay, we got to boost it because of inflation. And it's like, okay, that's one thing, right? Like, oh, okay, more theft. But then you look at the inflation, which is like kind of just covered over in this Britannica article, like, just, it's normal, right? Inflation from 475,000 pounds to 10 million pounds. Okay. That inflation rate is insane. That's over 10 times. That's crazy.
Right, maybe 20 times. Yeah, about so exactly. It's pretty crazy. Now, the civil list was ended later on. Basically they did this new style of how they gave her money. So the sovereign grant.
Pray tell.
Oh, I shall
pray tell, Jack.
I shall. All right. So the sovereign grant here, I'm going to pull this on up. So that came about in 2011. And instead of doing this like kind of like fixed amount kind of thing they were doing, they like kind of created an investment vehicle where they lump sum the money and then she would get, I guess you could say investment proceeds from that. So this was something that took place, in relatively recent time, that change from the civil list to moving to the sovereign grant.
See the obfuscation? It's paid annually to the monarch. Yeah. By the government. No, the taxpayers. Right. The government doesn't have money that it didn't extort, And
they fund the monarch's official duties. The official duties being enslaving everybody else and getting them to focus their lives and wrap their lives around what they do.
Oh, the word salads.
Right.
Oh,
so many salads.
Cringe.
This could basically be.
Some people are like, oh, you put libertarian philosophy. That's in like a comic or in something. And it's like, oh, that's cringe. I read that. And it just says like monarch, official duties, funding the official duties by the government. Like, and I cringe. Like, is that not cringy to you? Like, I guess it just depends.
That cringe actually involves like people being stolen from, because it's like, okay, people are suffering.
Yeah, and they just obfuscate it like it's official duty. Stealing from people's official business. It's official business.
And over all those years, it's like billions of dollars in modern day money. I mean, just literally billions of dollars taken from people who are just regular people and being given to the royalty, quote unquote, so that they can live in their lavish palace and literally just, keep up their reign and say, oh, we deserve to be your rulers. We're better than you.
Like that crown alone was probably like 1 billion.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers of that, so I'm not going to get into that. But there are a lot of artifacts that are with the royalty.
But it's always been like, wow, it is like all taxpayer funded, right? Like meanwhile,
a
people
good amount
are starving in prison for victimless crime. Well, where's she coming in? Yeah.
So basically, not only is there that element, but they have this thing called Commonwealth realms. So the short history of that is that the UK, the British government throughout the years obviously had a bunch of different holdings across the world due to either direct conquest or acquisition from, like, for example, the East India Trading Company, where they started to take all the East India Trading Company's assets, basically. So they have
question. What's the red?
So those are former realms and dominions that are now republics. So they
rule them.
It's complicated, but basically they changed to a republic form, but some of them have like still nominal rule, essentially by the monarch, you could say, of the royal family.
Dang, even then.
So so what's interesting about this too is that on top of that money they're getting from the civil list and then the sovereign grant, in modern times, the queen will go and she'll just do like a little ceremony in these countries. And then by doing the ceremony and then having a banquet, they go and give her millions of dollars. So like, oh, see, you're doing your duties. Here's money from taxes. She'll go to New Zealand and get money. She'll go to Australia.
Paid,
right. She'll go to Canada.
And she's a queen. They're not going to put her in a 1-star hotel, right? That's cheap.
No.
Economical. No, they're going to put her in like some lavish luxury hotel because she's the queen,
The queen. So
interesting.
just to give you a little taste of that, just to give you a sense, right? So a crown apparently costs Canada over $58 million each year, right?
Ooh.
This is just one of the countries. She's functionally the head of Canada, like in their constitution. There's parliament, but technically she's still I'm the owner, baby.
Well, it's not her, right?
Yes,
the
family. But yeah, she is the ultimate head in that way.
She was
in the parliament. Well, now she's dead. Now it's Charles, but
let's be clear.
So so just bringing this all together, it's super important just to get a sense of how big the
crown
thefts are.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that's just like, oh, whatever, they just get $1,000 here and there, this and that. No, dude, it's like they literally get tens of millions of dollars every year from UK and then tens of millions in from other countries.
She's just a philosophical, she's just demonstrating to the world what it means to be a queen. Okay.
Right.
She's not stealing for anyone. She's not benefiting from any theft.
Right. It's really crazy. It's absolutely insane.
It is.
So hopefully that history lesson there was a little bit of fun there, just to know that if someone tries to tell you, oh, the queen, she just went around motorcade, went on like little publicity cherry tours, like,
that's
no,
all
dude,
she does.
She could do that because she literally is the effective owner of several different countries by their constitutions and receives from tax dollars millions of dollars to those countries, including from her native United Kingdom country. It's crazy, right? It's absolutely insane. So if you hear anybody trying to claim otherwise, you can show them that stuff. Look up the civil list, look up the sovereign grant, just start them down that path, because it is not true that these people are just some benign people. Like, oh, they're just in costumes, no big deal. It's like, no, dude, they got an army, they have their own guard, they have massive expenditures covered out of all the people from around the world who either they've been conquered, or I guess you could say through the years just kind of evolved to be under their rule.
Yeah.
Through force and trade. So it's really something to not just take lightly. Like, it's not something that's, oh, whatever, no big deal. It's like, no, dude, this is like mass theft.
Yep. So hopefully that just gives you, some big reasons why, that you could say if you encounter somebody who's like, oh, it's just the queen, she's benign, she's just like a philosophical leader. That's it. She's not doing anything. You can point to real evidence of how much money she gets given, through extortionary means, through the state, through these different governments. And yeah. No, absolutely. Hey, Travis, welcome back.
Yeah, saying hi to everybody's in the chat. So real quick here, just going to deviate for a second. Again, if you're wondering what we're doing right now, if you just came in, because I guess a bunch more people just came in, we are doing a little bit of talk and hanging out as we are raising support for our next music video. We're trying to shoot this in New York City because we want a dystopian feel, the little window we can, while things are relatively open and they're not, crazy on the shots and everything else. We're trying to do it in that little window, and it's going to be a fun song. I think you're going to really enjoy it, and you can get your name in the song. You could literally, in the video, not obviously the song was already made, but in the video you can get screen time, executive producer credit, roll credit. It's super cool. Lots of great ways to get involved, and you can see even there that behind the scenes teaser, whatever, that's from our last music video, which was a lot of fun. Actually, here I got.
So it'll be different. It's not going to be that picture. This is
Yeah.
just to just show an example.
Just a little bit of the past, right? This is just a couple of screenshots from before, right? We've done a number of music videos.
Yeah. So we have the top left is I Did Not Consent. Top right is ANCAP Grind. Bottom left is Disobey. I'm like, I should just read the shirts.
Right.
And the bottom right is Mask Order. So yeah, good times. Those were great screen grabs. So yeah, thanks to everyone who supported those. And yeah, understand if you can't, support. If you can at least like share the word on your social media pages that, hey, check out this video. Feel free to do that too. But yeah, if you can support, and if you do $25 plus, we'll finally reveal this shot glass.
Yeah,
special shot glass.
We'll drop our standards, if needed. But the Don
Pulled
Julio
out the Don.
here. This is the drink. We're gonna show you what we're drinking it out of, which will be funny.
I only like top shelf tequila, basically. I mean, that's what I can handle. Right. Yeah, I just like it where there isn't much sugar, and you have. Okay, so imported by Dia Geo, New York. Oh, that's where we want to shoot the video. Okay, there's no relation. We're not bringing this. No, you know what I mean. I mean, we could get this there, but product of Mexico. Where is the ingredients?
Where are the ingredients?
Is it just that pure that you don't even need an ingredients list because it's literally just tequila?
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much just doesn't look like they have anything crazy else. Also has agave tequila, so
excited.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll see what happens. And then also for those who missed that before, we also were playing this Hangman game with super chats and stuff like that. So we had up here Y and A. So the Essential Libertarians and Kurt put in some letters, but neither of them are on the board. It is a place. So we have a head and a body, a very skinny body at that.
You can always start with the vowels.
But we will do it. So on to more discussion. Let's talk about what's going on here in the world with I think one of the discussions that I was having a good time talking to people about this week was the ideas of like peaceful parenting, nonviolent communication stuff, and just all those different types of things. So it's always fun to talk about that because a lot of people get really upset when you do.
Jack, I think you need to shut up.
Right? They're like,
I think you're all bad.
You're all bad. Oh no, you're using violent communication with me.
That was the point. You literally brought up nonviolent communication. Oh, and then guess what? Jerobe's here. He was like, "Yo, guys, it's Jerobe. Welcome." He shared.
He was.
Anyway, hello.
That is so off the topic, but yes, so random.
You gotta say hi to people who dropped it that we know.
Oh, okay. In any case, so the topic of NVC and talking about peaceful parenting, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's often tough to talk about those things because whenever people hear about those things, they automatically say, "Oh, okay, well, if you don't have any kids whatsoever, can you talk about that?" Right? And it's like
you get various responses, right? It's just like saying, I'm a libertarian. Well, you're gonna get some regular responses like, "Well, what about cops? What about the roads?" Like in this case of like, okay, you shouldn't spank children. You should not hit children. You should not call them little assholes, right? People are like, "Oh, what, you want to raise soft children?
Yeah.
You want to raise softies?" I don't know why they have New York accents, but it fits, right? Like it kind of like hones in the point.
It does. Like it definitely hones or I would say exemplifies the point.
Yeah. There you go.
The reaction to those things for a lot of people is that they have, kind of this reflexive nature to it, where it's like, oh well,
defensive.
How else will a kid learn if you don't, threaten them or say you're gonna, hit them or give them the, correct discipline? So could you elaborate a little bit about what we're even talking about? Because I think we're talking about terms that some people might not even know about. Like if we say nonviolent communication, people are like, what are you talking about? So could you explain what that means and where we're even going with this?
I think you're just referring to conversations you've had in the past week of like, just like when you advocate for, where it started this past week was just the fact of like, I think it was like unschooling, right? Or no, it was about language, use of language, even with children, and being careful with judgmental labels that can, you know, create like kind of it's basically a label meant to shame someone to change their behavior. So if you say, hey, you're being really bad, or stop being so mean, right? If you say that to somebody, like, stop being so mean, like, stop being such a dick or something, right? Like, that's basically language that is meant to just label them, and it doesn't actually say anything in specificity about what actually happened in reality, right? Like, tangibly in reality. It's like, okay, if someone's, saying you're being mean, doesn't actually say anything. Like, something specific would be like, hey, when you walked into the room and you gave me a middle finger, I didn't understand. That really hurt my feelings, right? Now you can have a conversation about something specific, but usually when you have sort of these kind of labels, it projects onto somebody a sort of abstract image that's not really close and doesn't really communicate what you're trying to really say in reality. So that's kind of the whole beginning, right? And then that's this whole concept of nonviolent or peaceful communication is trying to just focus. I like to call it objective communication. Like, how do you really describe what you feel, right? And separating and distinguishing from feelings and thoughts, for example, like saying, I feel sad is a feeling, but saying like, I feel like you're being rude, or I feel like you're being mean, that's not a feeling, right? That's more like a thought, an assertion, an assumption. And so what, nonviolent communication or peaceful communication is all about is the goal is ultimately to drive connection with other human beings, like other people, like, and try to and actually the whole premise is like, often a lot of issues that we see, whether it's like relationship issues or, well, I guess any kind of problem between like people, right, is ultimately a relationship issue, technically. But it's like the whole premise is that a lot of this is driven by this cycle of violent either communication or violent behavior and initiations of violence, like we talk about as libertarians or as anarchists, all the extortion and coercion from the state. A big premise of this kind of philosophy is that often physical violence usually starts from emotional violence, really, or emotional abuse or nonviolent communication, and somebody feeling like they're just not being heard and they're not getting their needs met. And then they just constantly feel rejected or labeled, and they never get to truly understand themselves and what they did wrong. And instead, their mind is just filled with all these like labels and platitudes of like what not to do as a person, instead of like truly understanding themselves and like why they feel the way that they do and what really drives their behavior. Like, what unmet needs do they have? Like, are they lacking sleep? Are they lacking nutritional food, right? Are they lacking getting sun? Like, any of this like is stuff that often is just not talked about, right? Like, people are like, why are you crying? Stop crying. Like, whatever platitude, it's endless, right? Whether left or right or even libertarian, like it's just like, that's kind of the whole focus there. And so you were saying earlier about how some people reacted saying, you shouldn't like say it's bad to like call somebody, like a child, names, right?
Like a brat.
Like a brat, like saying, right, like, oh, you're just being a brat to a child. The argument from a nonviolent communication standpoint is like, that's not helpful. You're not teaching the child anything specific about what could be wrong about their behavior. And also, you're not even showing that you're open-minded, that you yourself could be wrong, right? Right? Like, maybe, like the whole thing about like, telling your kid like, hey, don't just, be a barbarian and run around the store without your shoes on. Like, imagine that's kind of like projecting, right? It's not really a violation, like your kid just being free and not having shoes. A question could be like, why are you bringing them to the store when they're so young? Or like when they're not trained, whatever. Like, it's just, you're not really teaching them anything specific about why it could be wrong, running around the store. Like, okay, maybe there's a safety issue. Like, oh, I need you to be near me because there's strangers around, right? There's reasons. And that's better to talk to a child about the specific reasons, or any relationship, right? That you want to actually have a intimate connection with, someone you love, right? Your husband, your wife, family, your mom or your dad, like, you really want to focus on the specificity of what's happened in reality so that as best as possible, whoever you're talking to, you can actually know that you're talking about the same thing, and you can actually address the specific things that have happened. So hopefully that wasn't too long-winded, but I try to just sum it up there.
No, I think that's a good
different terms.
That's a good beginning. I think that's
the beginning too. See, that was long.
Yeah, that's just a good beginning because so to really help clarify what this all connects to is that when you're talking about nonviolent communication and what that means, it means that you're intentionally and actively looking to ask about how someone's actually thinking and feeling, and trying to understand them if you want to get close to them and connected with them, as opposed to being prescriptive, that is saying what they are in just like a short label, and talk about their behavior like that. Like, oh, you're crazy, or what's wrong with you, you stupid, and stuff like that. Because it doesn't actually get to the root of what someone's thinking or feeling, like why they might feel frustrated or they seem kind of reserved or aloof, whatever. And not only that, when you say stuff in that way, you end up having something that now they're defensive against. So now they're not only getting
and they don't trust you. They no longer trust you, and now they have more memories, or yet another memory, if you have a history of them, of not being able to get their needs met with you. And one of the needs could just be feeling heard, or just being listened to, and being able to talk openly about what's going on for you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's a way that is nonviolent communication is a way to help get past that more common trope. And this is something I think you see in movies,
communication
and TV, that a lot of the communication that is modeled there, and even of course in other contexts like school and other places, a lot of the communication there is all about one-upmanship, making fun of somebody, putting them down by making jokes about them or calling them names and things like that. And that's seen as social currency in a lot of mainstream, culture, entertainment. And, while watching that as a comedic thing is fine, a lot of people actually do model their lives after that, especially people who are younger and they're just seeing this and they're, imitating what they see on TV or.
And if you're left alone, right? Like, your parents work all the time. They put you in public school. So you have all the impressions of the people there. You come home, they're so tired. They're like, just go watch TV. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And you just have these children, and okay, hey, I was one of them who had this exact lifestyle of like single parent or both parents just working all the time. And so you don't really see them. And so, you just pick up whatever communication is around you. And in public school, it was very violent, right? You had bullies, you had teachers who were like, you're not paying attention, you're being bad, you're being distracting, you're being a distraction, to everyone else.
Right.
You're hurting everyone else's learning. Like all this stuff. And you go home and you watch like shows and stuff that kind of idealize violent communication. So then you have a lot of people growing up thinking that violent communication is friendship. Like, yo, what's up, dick? Like, I don't know. I don't know why I say that word, but I just was like, wait, holy asshole, whatever. And they just think like, like that's just building. And to the extent that, yes, it's benign, right? If like, let's say you otherwise have deep connection and vulnerable conversations, it's benign. Like if you're just like randomly like being goofy, it doesn't matter. But I'm talking about like when you literally have a relationship, and some of you know this like from public school, I did, where you may, grow, you may get some self-knowledge. You're like, oh shoot, all the friends that I had when I didn't have self-knowledge, all we talk about is really superficial stuff. And now I remember many times where when I do want to talk about something deep, like something going on, a personal issue or something like that, there's like, oh, you just think too much, just go with the vibe, like just these kind of like, again, platitudes to just kind of dismiss what you want to talk about. And that's what I'm saying, is just like, if you have that relationship and that's all it is, well, that's a sign of something lacking, where maybe you could try. And we bring up nonviolent communication. There's a whole book about it. Like, we didn't come up with it. It was this term created by this guy named Marshall B. Rosenberg. Sadly, he's one of the many people I found about later, or that you found about too, or that happens, that's died. He's already dead and passed. But he created like this big movement of people who are just really focused on vulnerable, honest communication, which is really, really incredible. I wish I could have met him. But so he has a book called Nonviolent Communication. And then there's some other tagline. But if you just look up Nonviolent Communication, Marshall Rosenberg, or go to my website.
A Language of Life?
Yeah, a Language of Life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you just go to my website, thephilosopher.com, then you'll also see the book, Nonviolent Communication. But yeah, it's just that. It is a tool. It is a communication tool. And it's specifically used if you have the purpose of, hey, I have someone I care about and I want to connect with them. And I'm tired of being alienated from them. I'm tired of having drama with them or whatever, right? And you want to get to the root of it. And you want to like really suss out what's going on. Well, that's a great tool to have. So highly recommend it. Yep. Travis, Philosopher's Philosophy. And does this count? Somebody said already supported. Does that mean we can just like cheat and do the reveal the chat?
It's supposed to be from what it is right now.
Okay.
So no.
All right, we're still at 11 backers on the campaign at 1,072. 21% funded. Our goal is 5,000 to get to New York City and shoot this thing there in several key locations. That won't be the music video.
That's from the last one.
Behind the scenes from our last one.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we had CIA pills, black and blue there.
That was fun. I actually had to manually put together all those pills. Like I had to I got red pills and I got blue pills.
Yeah, because it doesn't come in like red and blue. But
and then I had to unscrew the caps and then just put them together. So that was a lot of fun, just sitting and making red and blue pills.
Yeah, they were empty. But... yeah, so that was fun. This will be a whole different vibe. I mean, what you see there with I Did Not Consent. I mean, I would say every music video we've done has been pretty different stylistically.
Mm-hmm. I would say. Been different stuff to each one.
Props wise, clothing wise, maybe there is some Easter eggs of continuity here and there, but for the most part, it's different. Different tone, like from Disobey to Mask Order to I Did Not Consent. It's all different. And for I Did Not Consent, I think we should like play the song so you guys can understand the vibe. Can I play?
Not yet. Okay. We can't play it yet. But in the meantime, we can, I think, talk about more on the nonviolent communication
I Did Not
stuff.
Consent.
Yeah. We can talk about more of the NVC stuff. I think so bringing back to the original framing and the framework, what was our talk about how these types of tools can apply with young people. And even if you're not a parent yourself, you can understand how these things can be used with young people. You don't have to be a parent to have interactions with young people, right?
Yeah, you have a niece. Do you have a nephew? Do you have a second cousin?
Right.
Do you have cousins, baby?
And it's interesting because like a lot of you are like, oh, if you're not a parent, what do you know? It's like, well, what do you think nannies are who don't have kids, right? Like nannies who literally, and I've had this, that au pair stuff like that, where they take care of you and they don't have kids.
It's just a fallacy. The whole appeal authority. I don't even care. I don't even care to respond. It's just appeal authority.
Well, I do, so I'm going to respond.
I don't respond to fallacies. It's not an argument.
Oh yes,
like,
right.
It's like I would just present that to him, be like, "You're not making an argument." Like, okay, I don't care. I can talk about what is healthy food or not and not be a doctor, right?
Right.
I can talk about unschooling and not be a teacher.
Or facilitator.
I can talk about other ways to learn and not be exactly a teacher or whatever. Right. So, it's just a silly thing. It's just a reactive fallacy. People throw out. It's not an argument.
Right. Which, well, I mean, and again, the more important thing here is the idea of what it takes to actually get in a mode of thinking about how you can proactively work on yourself so that you can be the best type of parent or sibling or uncle or aunt or whatever grandma, whatever you want to be, the best type of person, in terms of having a real connection and good communication with those who you love. And that said, that doesn't mean that you have to always use it, because I don't. As you can see, sometimes I definitely don't use nonviolent communication all the time. I use it as a tool when I want to actually have a good relationship with somebody. Obviously, there's
or to talk about something specific, right? Because sometimes like the way that you might just naturally express yourself is benign, but like you yourself just express yourself that way. Or maybe you think racial stereotype jokes are hilarious, or accents are funny, like and you like. And like maybe you do that a lot, and that triggers somebody.
Oh, I see. Like they're just triggered. That's different.
No, it's not. I mean, I guess if you're you could be talking jest, like you'd be like, oh, okay, I think it's funny, when blah blah blah, or like some joke, right? Like, they may perceive that as violent or whatever, right? And the response then, okay, now you have a situation, now you have a conflict that you could deal with, and that's when you would whip out this so-called tool called NVC, or nonviolent communication, be like, oh, okay, I want to address this, but I don't want to make it worse. And like one of the ways you can make it worse is like, oh, stop being so reactive, it's just a joke, you're too sensitive. Right? Like how many times, like, I mean, have you not gotten that? I've gotten that in my life. Oh, we have 12 back. That's real awesome. Quick. Cool. We just
want to tail on what you just said, but
I want to finish my thought.
Finish your thought, because we're about to.
I got distracted though.
Yeah, well, because Ripple Effect just sent 25 buy-side racket dinar. It's about to revalue like next week.
Oh, okay.
All right. So thank you so much.
Silver's kind of low too.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
There we go. Boom. So thanks to Ripple Effect right here.
Cool.
Thanks to him, you get to see what we're actually talking about with these shots.
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, I want to finish my thought.
Okay, finish your thought. And then
but like, so in that situation, like instead of trying to make it worse and like, and alienate the person, get them defensive, get them even more riled up, you could just notice like, okay, they're clearly triggered about something. And if you love and care about that person, and you want to ultimately have them be in your life, you may choose in that moment of conflict to then be like, okay, hey, what's going on for you? Like, I like, are you offended like by what I said? Like, I personally think it's benign because I'm not being racist or something, like in that scenario of like making a joke about racial stereotypes, right? I'm just giving an example. Like that's precisely what the tool is for. It's just like handling conflicts, and instead of like responding with more violent communication, right? If someone comes to you and they're like, yo, what are you doing over here? If you respond, it's like, oh, you want to go? Like, obviously things are going to keep escalating. So it's also a tool to like de-escalate and try to help someone get back down to be like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on. I feel heard. I understand what needs not being met. I'm going to go, get it met in a healthy way. But like you help them to see that, and help to disarm them with it, instead of like adding fuel to the fire, so to speak. So yeah.
Speaking of fuel to the fire. Okay. So
all right.
You're going to see.
This is the
it's
secret.
It's going to come up. This is the secret. It's going to be incredible.
What do you imagine? What shot is good for the philosopher? What kind of shot?
Okay.
Is it a Chinese shot?
Here's our amazing.
Does it say yes, please?
Amazing glass. You
no, ready? It's see-through. Oh, so small. This is perfect for me. And my little tolerance. I don't know why I sound like the lady from Invincibles. Is it Invincibles?
Invincibles? Did you just cross Invincible and The Incredibles?
I did.
What's this going to be like after this shot, though?
A shot of the dime.
So thank you, Ripple.
Do you guys know what it's like every time I go to the bar? I'm like, hey, do you guys have like top shelf tequila? That's all I can handle
these days.
They're like, oh, we got some fruity, sugary drinks. Girls like that. I'm like,
all right, you ready?
I used to, but I can't anymore. First of all, how are you gonna fill this?
I'm gonna allow you to fill it actually, because
I can't.
You can't fill it. Okay, well, you gotta
look at this.
It's very tough.
Look how the lip is wider. The lip is wider than the cup. Normally, the cup is bigger than the lip.
You just have to be very gentle, maybe 2 hands, and then put the cup down. I'll put the cup down.
We have a lot of electronics.
I would put the cup down. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go to the other room. I'm gonna be safe.
Okay, well, I'd fill up my little glass too, I guess. Good luck.
Does this accent trigger you? Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks
in
for
2
hanging
seconds.
out. Commercial break.
No commercial break. She's lying. Stay here.
Just kidding. All right, I just don't want.
All right, go fill it up. Be extra careful. They are real glass, so it is kind of sensitive. Despite how tiny they are, a small thing like that can cause harm if not used right. So the she's struggling right now. She just got she got a big cup. We'll see what happens now. So yeah, just piggybacking a little bit off of what she was just saying, just to help give some more clarifications what we're talking about before with the nonviolent communication, trying to understand each other. One of the things that's often confused a lot is feelings versus I guess you could say thoughts.
Wait, Jack, sorry, do you want a bigger shot?
I mean, I'll try the first shot with a small one. She's like, "Oh, do you want a bigger shot?" I mean, you can give me a small glass too. I'll do double duty if needed. All right. She's coming back with these tight. You got to show these up.
Okay, but I got to be careful because there's electronics.
There's electronics, but we've managed. Look at that. Now that's a shot right there. Thank you for this shot.
This is perfect.
Oh, that's
for me.
for you. You're gonna have 2 shots
Well, I'm gonna
back to back.
Yeah, 2 shots back to back.
Okay. All right. So I guess she's doing 2 shots to kick it off. We'll see. So the thoughts and feelings thing. We keep getting distracted. So a thought is something like your opinion about somebody. Like I think that you are doing a good job, versus a feeling would be like anger or sadness or hope or, oh, there you go, resentment, right? Yeah, and some people confuse it. They say, I feel like you're hurting me, right? Where it's like, that's not a feeling.
Well, that puts someone on the defensive.
Right.
It puts someone on the defensive and goes like, like, I'm not hurting you. What are you talking about?
Right. Or I feel like you're acting stupid. That's not a feeling. That's a judgment about somebody else. Right. As opposed to someone calls you stupid, you'd be like, oh, okay, I feel upset or I feel sad when you call me stupid. Right. That's more descriptive.
Right. And it actually is talking about what actually happened. It's objective, basically.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Ripple. I got a tiny
cheers to that
mini shot. This is 0.25.
I got the full shot. She's got the mini, because at this rate, this is actually the equivalent. Honestly, this is a really good representation, because this shot that I have, this is what I'm taking.
40% alcohol. This is the Don Julio.
Hers is a Don Julio. Hers is literally has the same effect. So this is a shot for her body.
Wow, you can really quantify then our difference in tolerance.
Absolutely. So this is actually a fun equivalent. Cheers to that.
You're such a nerd. See, labels.
I'm a huge nerd.
But I love it. No.
All right. Cheers, Ripple Effect.
Okay, cheers.
Woo! Woo-hoo! Okay, it's smooth.
Even a tiny mini. These are so cool, though. All right, well,
woo!
Thanks so much. Just because you broke the ice, Ripple, I'm gonna fill Jack another shot. What? You needed lime?
I'm like, I should have gotten some lime with that. I didn't think.
Too much, huh?
It's strong.
All right, you wish you did the mini shot,
Ooh. Huh? I don't wish. I mean, I'm glad I did the big one, but
well, this is cool. This goes in the Don Julio at the end. It looks like a mushroom, doesn't it?
All right, it does. It does look like a big mushroom.
Okay. Did you finish your thought about NBC?
I finished one thought, but in any case, Rob Friel just came with this. Oh, we got more thoughts coming. There's gonna be thoughts coming on.
So many thoughts coming. Cheers, memory man. Your name is funny, memory man.
Memory.
Oh, Robert, thanks so much. Cheers. Oh, do you want to do a hangman, Robert?
So that means Robert can actually do the
hangman.
We're
doing this thing. And we'll share the screen. You can see if you just make that full screen.
That's as full as it's getting.
You can't maximize
it. Doesn't. We try this before the Zoom.
No, but just make it so that it's more focused. Just thank you.
Okay.
Great. Dang. But yeah, you can guess the letter, Robert.
Yes. Y and A are no
coming.
good.
Travis
Oh my
wants the thoughts
gosh.
to come. We don't mean those thoughts. We meant thoughts like THOUGHTS. And that's not the word here,
Whew.
folks.
That-
Just so you know. The
wow.
word's not thoughts. But yeah, Robert, guess a letter.
So Robert, put in a letter. Just wire A is already out.
In the meantime, I'm gonna show
It's a
everyone
place.
what your super sticker was.
Mm-hmm.
Since you can't show it through this.
Wow, that shot's already hit
through
me.
this tech. Really? This is hitting me. All I had a little one.
And then
you haven't eaten. Do you want me to order something for
no,
you?
not yet. I got to go deep in this tequila before I can justify.
But by the time it gets here, you'll be slooshed.
No, I gotta. This is a This is a challenge, and I'm here for that challenge.
You're gonna do this on an empty stomach.
Semi-empty stomach. All right, Robert has come in with
Robert
a letter.
says R.
R for really cool.
Yes, choose green. Green is the color of like, oh, that's good, right?
Right.
Good versus bad. Green versus red.
Okay.
What? Okay, what?
Okay, he's got the letter.
My joke's hilarious, and you're gonna stay around.
I'm gonna stay around for this comedic break. All right, Robert has officially gotten an R.
Yay!
On the board. Woo!
Out of 3 guesses so far.
3 guesses
that was
so
the
far.
first.
The first one.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
Hey,
for your
R
service.
is for Robert.
Woo!
Right? I don't know why my volume suddenly 10 times. All I had was this.
Somebody says the only one watching. No, you're not the only one watching.
Can you imagine?
We streamed to 8
Get
channels.
your name in the name credit. Help the philosopher have another mini shot.
That's true, actually.
Get your shots here. We're gonna go to New York and we're like, get your shots here, mini shots.
I mean, we would do shots of people in New York. If we hit 100%, I'm good. We definitely do a round of shots of sake shots at the whatever fun place we go to.
Can they be mini shots? Just kidding. I can do one big shot and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's like it for the whole night. That's like I'm good.
So anybody who's either in New York or close enough to make a little trip, a day trip, whatever, come on out, have some food with us, definitely.
Yeah.
We will definitely.
There's already a couple people that know that we're coming.
Yeah.
Guy who's shooting the video, obviously, he's like, oh yeah, let's hang. We want to meet him before he actually had interviewed me early, like 6 years ago. He's one of the first people to interview me at a little podcast with some friends. And now he's has his own like production company, cameras, has hired assistants, makeup artists. He's like really serious. It's really awesome. Also, he's into music too, so that's cool. Yeah. But yeah, he's been wanting to hang. So there's him and then a couple friends nearby. Maybe we can hit up Lou Perez.
That would be crazy if Lou's like
meet his wife Michelle.
Come on out, that'd be fun. It is cute. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, speaking of which, I'm glad you did mention Lou Perez because if you haven't already seen,
Lou's cool.
Lou just came with a new book. That joke isn't funny anymore. It is really funny. It's a good book.
That joke isn't funny anymore, and you can't do accents. You can't laugh at anything. All you can do is talk about potatoes and bread and beans and boring stuff. Nothing that riles anybody like comedy is supposed to.
Well, thankfully, Lou took a stand against all that in his book. It's real. It's got stories. It's got his own personal history in there. He
writes really well.
Yeah, he's got some great writing. It's really funny. I do recommend it. I've really enjoyed it myself, and I just think that it's just up to us to actually support these comedians who are willing to take a stand against all this, woke nonsense and the woke mob.
It's a defense of free speech. Comedy is one of one of the ways that governments can silence people. If you allow them to censor comedy, it's yet another thing and totally eroding your freedom of speech. And then you're gonna have China, where they literally the Chinese government comes in and they find out that you're talking bad about the CCP, and you know what they do? They come to your house and they literally pull you out of your bedroom.
They do
take you out and they put you in jail, straight to jail. Okay, overcook, undercook, straight to jail. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And that's why, I love supporting people like this who are brave, and they're willing to use their voice and speak the truth. Right. It's one of the most basic things you have as a person, your voice, just being able to speak, and it's pretty crazy that they've eroded so much of your rights, like TSA, all these different alphabet companies, like taxation is over 30, 40, 50% for some people. It's freedom of speech is almost like just that last pillar, like they've already taken so much. So we really got to regain it back. It's up to us. I think we each have one life, so why not make the most of it to try to secure liberty for future generations and let them enjoy life, just like, even though we live through this statist time that we ourselves have experienced. We ourselves, if you live in America, have likely experienced some form of abundance, some form of like, okay, cool, you live in a place that has energy, that has air conditioning. You can use the internet, right? You have a phone, you have a computer. Sure, it's dinky and old, but you have it, right? It's not the same as being in like when you're a kid, like especially growing up in the 80s, 90s, right? Like if you eat your broccoli or something you don't like, you're doing it for kids in Africa. Like, like it's that whole trouble. Like, the standard of living here is significantly that much higher. And why? Like, why is that the case? Well, because of some semblance of private property rights. That's it. Like knowing that, okay, if you accumulate, unlimited amounts of wealth, someone's not just going to come in and take it from you, all of it, all of a sudden you'll be protecting that. And of course, the twist here is that many of us are heavily taxed. So you have that sort of so check out Lou's book.
Yes, definitely check out Lou's book. It's worth the read. I think it's on Kindle too?
It's on Amazon.
So you can get Kindle and the hard copy.
Oh, if he has a voice version, I would totally get that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hear it in his voice would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be fun to hear Lou read it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Lou, if you're watching this, you need to do an Audible version if you haven't already. And if there is, I'm going to get
I mean, or what if you did it? That'd be really funny. It's like, it's like you reading the book.
And like a random like accent.
And you put an accent on, a New York accent.
Like a New York accent. Yo, it's Lou. It's me, Lou Perez.
Oh my goodness. That's like him doing an impression of a New York accent the way you did it. It's like
thanks.
All right. Oh, good question. Darius Thurman says, Darius. In honor of Darius, I will do a shot.
Oh, okay. I'll do one too.
Wait, you can't do one?
I'm gonna do this for all the Hangman people then.
No, we can't do that.
Well, I can't do that.
You're debasing the currency. The shot currency.
It's inflation. So now we got to boost it to $50 plus on the campaign, you're saying?
We'll never recover from this. At this rate, we're going to be so sloshed.
All right, you're right. I'll save it. All right.
Give it to me because I'll take the minor one. But careful, it's a little glass. How am I? Look it up. It's a tiny shot. It's a tiny shot.
Cheers. All right. If you want to see what another mini shot does to the philosopher, check out the Anti-State music video campaign live now.
All right. So that's a mini shot. That's the deal.
All right, Darius, what did you think of the Anarchist show on HBO? Well, so.
Oh, we got so many thoughts. I'm glad.
First of all, I mean, in the most like superficial sense, it was entertaining, right? I mean, like it was. The cuts were good. It was cool seeing the different interviews of people. They chose specific anarchists though that were in the event. And yeah. So from a superficial standpoint, it was like, okay, that was like a good show. Like it was just entertaining to watch. Now, from a philosophical standpoint, and when you think about, okay, like what is the message here? What is perhaps the bias that's being portrayed here?
Hit piece.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good summary of it. And see, I don't care to use NVC here. This is not a relationship for connection. Like, but you're just calling
describing the.
Okay, fine.
We're just describing the show. We're not connecting with the.
No, but it could be just somebody being like, okay, you're assuming malintent on the directors, like, oh, hit piece, like they're all bad.
Well, I mean, the evidence is pretty strong when you think about
it. Depends on who. Like, is it the producers? Is it HBO? The executives like, hey, you have
HBO,
to.
Of course. I mean, they're the ones who do the final
frame it this way.
Yeah.
Oh, they do the final cuts and editing.
I'm pretty sure that they are responsible for what makes it. They're going to sit there and say what can go and what can't. It always goes through legal and the producer team. So they're going to sit there and watch it, and they're going to say, oh, do this or this can't make final cut.
Right. So they're part of the show. So what I saw was like so much propaganda. It was definitely slanted to be pro-statist and to kind of like paint the state and living under a government, like living in America, for example. is good, is stable, and that living in some place like Mexico, they create this falsehood that, oh yeah, it's somehow an anarchist society. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like Mexico is run by a government,
Right.
and like the government is kind of like there's a revolving door with the drug cartels. Okay, there's also a war on drugs and a war on guns as well. It's like it's actually pretty similar to the US. Like maybe what you're speaking to is just that there's different cultures. Like the US, yeah, is made up of different people, yeah, with different cultures and thoughts. Okay, so like maybe that's what you're noticing there, but that's kind of the slant I saw with that show, was just kind of painting like people who moved to Acapulco, to Mexico, what again they're saying is anarchist, right, when it's not. It's so dangerous, right? And then that's the whole story that I won't get into, like spoilers if you haven't seen it.
I will. Prepare your ears.
Oh, okay.
Everybody dies at the end. No.
Oh, somebody's eating steak in the show, and there's the old shirt of the philosopher. So that's a weird Easter egg. We're just like watching, and we're like, hey, that's our shirt. It says the philosopher. It's just some guy eating like Lily Forrester steak, which it was like medium rare. I want to eat it so bad.
It's funny that she made it in the show technically.
Yeah, so
on
a
what's his
shirt,
face,
on an old shirt that
Doug Barber.
I don't think we sold the shirt. Did we?
He didn't. He apparently got the shirt from somebody else who had resold it. So in other words, someone bought it to then resell it, and so he had picked up the shirt, Liberty shirts. So technically, the philosopher makes it in the anarchist show, and you can see
cool.
it.
And that's really a rare shirt. I'm like, I would get that shirt again because it was like an anime, characterization of me, and it has like an AR.
There's a modern version in Libertarian Country. There's a new one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That one was cool because it like had the whole AR covering like across the chest, and then it was like very tall, as tall as the shirt.
Yeah.
So anyway, you'll see that there's that Easter egg. But yeah, that's what I thought of the show, Darius.
Well, I mean, for me, the show has a clear bent that they try to make it seem like as if the community in Acapulco is itself anarchism, and it's already like a big flaws as what you know before. Like this is literally
not
an event
anarchist community
that went for a week,
right.
And it's in the midst of government, and it's in the it's in an area where obviously the cartel has a big influence,
right? Because it's a tourist city, so the cartels love being the ones to funnel all the drugs and service the drugs too.
Right. So they're doing their drug stuff, whatever. So the funny part to me though is that when they talk about the horrors, like because they try to say, when John Galt, gets shot, they're trying to make it up like, oh, this is a part of anarchy. It's like, how is this a part of anarchy when they were shot, they were in their house, not the conference, up on the hill, and the police and the government was existing, and the cartel just came and shot them, and the government bans guns by and large. Like in Mexico, you can't get guns generally. You have to get it for like one place in Mexico City. You have to go through all this crazy paperwork. There's a very limited selection of calibers you can get. It's crazy. It's basically, if you try to do it on the up and up, it's very hard to get a gun in Mexico. It's hard. Mm-hmm. So they're virtually banned. Yeah. So it makes no sense. Like they're trying to paint it like, oh, this is anarchy. It's like, no, that's actually the government in Mexico, and their war on drugs and their war on guns. So it's really funny in that way. But, if you just take it for like the human story element, that's more entertaining, just the people and stuff like that.
And good to know, like you get to learn about somebody's story as well. But I don't still not deep enough. Like, like even for like Lily, she was the main character. Like I wish they would have talked more about her childhood and like
they did talk a bit though. They did talk a bit. Because they showed her upbringing and how her mom,
right, with her parents and
effectively committed a kind of suicide, and
and how that led to her right. Yeah.
So I mean it's a fun show. I definitely recommend watching it as like kind of a piece of Liberty history. It's like, oh wow, like this was something that really happened, and some really big people were at the conference, from Ron Paul, to
right, but they don't interview Ron Paul. They interview like Rose. 5 or 6 people from the whole thing.
Right. So they definitely focused it on their narrative. Like they wanted to have a narrative and a conflict and a rise and tensions.
It's like what, 6 episodes for the first season? So there's like a whole
6 episodes.
Over 6 episodes, just some narrative they're trying to get at.
So it's definitely a fun watch. It's definitely a great insight into some of the stuff that went on in the liberty movement sphere in one place in the world, basically. But it's, you know, when they try to paint it as like this is anarchy or something like that, it's very comedic because it's
Right.
nothing of the sort whatsoever. All the terrible things, the conflicts that they showcase are really things that happen outside of that, and mostly in, you know, government zones. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, great question. Thanks, Darius.
Oh, and mentioning too, so it said just on Days with the Timcast. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we're currently here.
with Maj. That was awesome.
Maj Shrey
That was really
and Dave
cool.
Smith are over on Timcast right now. So we know we got some competition for a time, but hey,
it's Friday.
we can talk about
it's a hot day to stream, you know.
whatever we want to talk about. It is. A lot of people are just relaxing on Friday after a long, hard work week. You know what I mean? I know many of you definitely are feeling that. I mean, more than ever, too, you know, thanks to the government and the inflation and the government spending and everything else. So,
yep, everyone's slaving away for the state.
Extra
right?
appreciative. So let's take a look here. Has anything changed otherwise with the campaign?
Do we get to show the song soon?
So it's the short
it's
of
been a good hour and 16. Wow, time flies.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be less than an hour, but it's like it's been an hour and 16 already.
Yeah. So you know, we're I guess I just see some people commenting in the thread here saying, hey, what's up?
Oh,
so,
hey, maybe some people coming in. Maybe it ended.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, just other people coming in. So
who knows?
For those who are just joining us, we are fundraising here for our Anti-State music video campaign. We are trying to get to New York City to shoot this music video because we want a really cool dystopian setting with a lot of interesting, intriguing angles. We're looking at a set budget of $5,000 because it's not normally what we need for a big music video, but we're able to make it work by limiting our wardrobe, extra actors, and props, stuff like that. We're just limited to very
in the
narrow
past,
thing.
it's been
guerrilla
like
shooting,
7 or 8 or 10,000. One of them.
I did not consent. We had a campaign budget of 14,000. We were able to raise 7.7, and we got lucky. Like straight up, like seriously, we got super lucky on that campaign because basically we had 2 series of fortunate in our favor events. You know, like when you hit the Monopoly, you know, community chest or whatever, we had that happen. One, the video production company underquoted us. And they wrote it down in contracts. So like, oh, whoops, our
like
bad.
Half less.
No, we're talking $7,000 less.
Oh.
They goofed. They lost our paper of instructions of like what we wanted, and they quoted us wrong. And we actually got lucky. And then we had the studio that we were shooting that music video at. The booking agent made a mistake, and they gave us lights when we were supposed to pay like an extra like $1,200. So we got like lucky beyond belief that we had 2 people make mistakes in our favor that let us shoot this music.
See, Jack has the numbers. I just remember like that we got a good deal from their mistake, but you're like that significantly shows it.
Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, we got super freaking lucky, like seriously, on that shoot that we were able to do so many cool things with high level equipment and the lighting and the environment, stuff like that on a very relatively low budget. So thanks everybody who supported that too. But that honestly, I don't know if I can make that happen again. Like that was freaking miraculous. Seriously, it was miraculous because in the future, a budget like that honestly would have had to have been $15,000 if we were paying retail. It would have been at least a $15,000 shoot, and we got a $15,000 shoot
for I did not consent.
For I did not consent for our budget. Yeah.
Every music video varies, right? It depends on the location. Depends on is there other people, right? That you're paying? Are there other actors, right? Is it just one person, 2 people? How many costumes do you need?
Yeah.
There's a lot into it. You know, are you going to do effects? What props do you need? So, yeah, there's it just depends. And in this case, like you were saying, the way we were planning this one in particular, like for it to be 5,000, it's just on the lower end of what we've done in the past for music videos, frankly, just because of how you planned it, you know, to be more focused about, utilizing the scenery that is, the different, time capsules and different landmarks that are in New York City. And just having like, one good outfit. Oops. Off something for each of us, so I need to watch that.
Yeah,
it's for the Don Julio. Drop the lid.
So on this campaign, we have a different budget that we're able to do a lot with just because the way that we're going to shoot this, much more guerrilla style, using wherever you can shoot, outdoor environment, New York City kind of thing. And, guerrilla shooting, as you know, guerrilla shooting just means you kind of improv where you can, when you can. And this is someone, who we're shooting with, who's very familiar with the area. He's based in there, so he knows what to, do and go to. But it's not something that, normally is an ideal, because an ideal is you have a controlled set. You have the ability to, if you're indoors, if it rains or shines, you're good. You can control the lighting and things like that. But in this, we're kind of rolling the dice. We have a contingency date. We have green screen opportunity. We have stuff we can do in the event that anything happens. So we have the ability to make it happen no matter what kind of thing. And we'll take it from there. So.
What were you saying about making it happen no matter what?
Oh, just that we for this shoot, we built in contingencies. Like we have a rain date for shoot. We have also, if it's rain for both, we have the ability that he's going to shoot some other footage and then integrate with green screen. Then we can do awning.
Oh, you're saying
scenes.
Even though we're, we plan to be there for just a short time, if we have goal, we planned the timeline to be flexible. You're saying
we planned our shoot with contingencies in mind, so that no matter what, we're going to get a cool music video, just in the event of anything happening.
Yeah,
right. We're going to make sure that we can make it work no matter what, because it's not an indoor shoot where it's like, oh, we have a studio and studio lighting. It doesn't matter rain or shine. It's who cares? It's controlled. So we have to work within those parameters, which, huge cost savings, but also somewhat a risk. But we've planned for all those contingencies too. So.
Okay, great.
So Darius here says, we always do.
That's kind of just the default. We always plan for contingencies when it comes to actually shooting the music video.
All right. So Darius, he gets to pick a letter, and I'll do a mini shot in his honor. Just a mini though.
You keep doing mini shots
because I'll do mini shots. That's how we going.
Okay.
So
aren't you eroding it? Aren't you doing the thing that you said not to do?
No, because these are just mini shots. They're not the full shots. If you want the full shot,
so I can do mini shots. And it's
I mean, your mini shot would be like a drop. You'd have to get one of those eye drop tools.
Gosh.
So
all right. Well, thanks, Darius. I want to read his comment. Okay, Eric July put out his ISOM comic. Yes, Jack actually made a few funny skits about it. It was great. And it's been quite successful. Yes, it's really cool. It's like, whoa, this is we've been promoting voluntarists, and it's now you have ISOM. That's really cool. It's not particularly libertarian from my understanding of what Eric said. I haven't read it, but
yes,
he was saying he's intentionally trying to make it more not directly political. And then you said, but Jack, you've had an ANCAP comic since 2012. Why did yours not go far?
Great question. I'd love to answer it.
Sure.
So
okay.
So the specifics here different.
And guess a letter. Okay, D.
He's got a letter, so we'll do the
cool.
D too. All right. Well, actually, let me do the D real quick, if you know what I mean. So I'll do the D. All right. So again, for those of you who didn't know,
all right, is there a D?
Is there a D?
Give me a D. Give me a D.
Is there a D on this? Oh, where'd it go? Okay. Wait, what? Oh, it's a brush. Okay, there we go. There it is. All right. So sadly, wait, there is no D. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So no D. And then we got to make something else for his body. Let's see here.
There is no D.
No D in this part of town. All right. Thank you, Darius, for playing with us.
There's sadly, no desire for the D.
No D. No D. All right.
Word.
But it's a good question, and I really like it, actually. So the reason
I have an answer too.
Okay, cool. All right. So the reason why it's not as successful as Eric's is for a lot of reasons, actually. One is that my comic, when I have always done my production promotion from the beginning, was more liberty oriented. So it's always been a more politically on the face comic, compared to other things, right? So my appeal has always been, from the inception, the niche of the niche. We're talking about people who already love liberty, and you have to also like superhero genre. It's very tough.
It literally says voluntarists. Humanity's last stand against government. It's pretty in your face.
So it's pretty in your face.
Yeah.
Now that said, there's a couple of things that needs to be said about that. First, in the first half of the years that I did the comic, I was very much like liberty on the face. When I started to do Origins, it went back to here's just the story, and it's not political on the face. It's not preachy in that way. It's actually just a story. So I've been doing that for a while. I've had last 5 campaigns all over 100% funded, successful on my terms. In other words, I've successfully funded it for 6 years now. So the voluntarist comic itself, I think once I think I'm done with this arc, which we just finished, I think it will actually have some bigger pickup. But Eric July's focus with all of his outward facing commentary and his YouTube channel has always been about talking on the major labels, DC,
Marvel, DC.
So he's talking
SJW takeover there.
So he focused on commentary on the mainstream culture. So he set himself up.
And he built
really
a huge
nice
audience from that, like from that social commentary.
So he was able to ride those IPs basically, and tap into the existing fandom and knowledge of those things in a way to provide critique and commentary and draw lots of people to what he was doing in his stuff.
There's a whole movement too. He wasn't
Comics
alone. Exactly. He, found those people, and those were his people of just like, okay, and now he's going to comment regularly on all the different movies and shows that are coming out, the different communist propaganda that's clearly in them now. Yeah.
So he whereas me with my stuff and my production stuff, I've mostly focused on different types of outlets that are promoting liberty oriented things. So I'm, what I'm doing, like Honest Teacher, stuff with the philosopher, voluntarist, whatever, anarchy ball, this, that, my content's definitely more geared toward the liberty sphere, right? As opposed to just, the general wide audience of, aren't you frustrated with all the wokeness in comics? And then when he did his campaign, that was him cashing in all his social capital, right? So all of his stuff from his music and the notoriety there, Blaze TV, everything that he's done with his YouTube channel and Critique of the Mainstream, this was his big, come on in and let's support this big project. This was his big, masterpiece thing. So that's how come he blew up. And I knew he was blowing up from the beginning. Way before this, I was like, dude, this is going to be huge. Obviously. But when you consider how many subscribers he reached and the specific type of fandom he had with that content, it was the perfect synchronicity. So that's how come he was extremely successful. And on top of that, of course, it is not a political comic by any measure. It's something that is meant to be just more like an alternative without the woke stuff. So again, that's a broader appeal. That said, I do think that the voluntarist comic is going to actually have its day. And I think that it's going to have its day because of how many people actually are so tired of the status nonsense and what's going on in the world. I think it actually is about to be on that cusp. And I think once I finish this, uniform, you could say graphic novel or trade paperback of the voluntarist origin series, which is what I'm working on right now with the last campaign. Once I have that book finished, I think that's going to kind of be that next level thing. So I think you'll definitely see some changes when voluntarist, the second saga, the suit saga comes out, and grows in that way. I think you're going to see that too. And especially
you just finished your compendium.
Right. So that's being worked on right now.
I would say you've had consistent success for the past decade.
I've had failures. And growth. No, I've failed many times. No, I disagree.
And consistently you're overall growing, as you said with Eric, to answer your question, it's just kind of that whole difference in the building of momentum, the differences in audiences, appealing to a wider audience instead of the more niche, I'm a voluntarist, anarchist, capitalist audience,
Well, but I do just want to be realistic with people because I want people to know failure is a part of the process, right? I failed with voluntarists multiple times. There's campaigns I didn't hit goal in the beginning. And I said, okay, I need to rethink about how I'm doing this. I need to do better messaging. I need to, have better quality control, things like that. I had to learn from mistakes along the way. Absolutely. Especially in the first few years of doing better. And I did. And one of the ways I did that was I did the zombies issue, which was kind of an insider's funny thing. And I kept working with it until, we made it, something that was going to be a canon consistent all the way through style, with the same artist who I, was working with. And now he's bringing it all into that uniform fashion. The 6th issue is going to be huge. I mean, this Eric July's ISOM is 96 pages. My Origins comic right now, from what it stands and where I think it's about to be, the Origins compendium we're looking at something that's well over 160 pages. So it's going to be a thick book. It's probably going to be closer to something like Watchmen or maybe an Invincible, first trade paperback.
Cool. Well, thanks, Darius, for your question.
Yeah. Appreciate the question. And I appreciate, the support and the thought and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be super cool though. What you see after this, you're going to be impressed by, and we have something else coming out in the works too. Top secret, but you're going to love it. So All right. And then Jesse Meek here says, can't stick around, but haven't been live with us. So here's some love. Miss you guys. Both
he changed his picture. Dang.
Hey,
finger off the trigger.
There you go. He's got the nod.
Jesse's awesome. Like, he literally teaches men and women self-defense with guns. It's really awesome. Can't stick around. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know. We haven't been live in a while. It's been busy. But yeah, you'll see us some more pretty much the rest of this month for sure.
Yeah. We'll be doing more stream stuff like that leading up to the anti-state campaigns close for sure. Absolutely. So, all right. So
cool.
With that though, so he does get a hangman. I don't know if he put in a hangman.
We already did it. It was
no, that was Darius.
Oh, Jesse?
Jesse just did.
He may be gone though, because he said he left at that was 9 minutes ago. Well, Jesse, if you're still around, guess a letter.
Guess a letter. Throw down a letter in the comments.
But yeah, if he's not here, maybe we'll just guess one. Oh, we can't. Never mind, because we know. I might.
Well, I would if he's not here.
Oh, you just give a hint.
And he's not coming back. I would give it to the next person. I will give the next super chat. I will give them the opportunity to get their super chat and Jesse's. If Jesse isn't coming back, then I'll pass it to them. I'll pass it to them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, but to celebrate him, I'll take a mini shot.
Okay, I will fill it up.
All right. Can you fill it up over here?
Oh.
No? It's too big?
Well, yeah, because the lip is...
I guess it's just too big. She can't fill... Oh, wait, nope. Jesse's here. He's still here. He gets the S, so... He put it in. Oh, and he put it... Yeah, I appreciate the support. You got your letter based on the support thing here, so we're going to put it in. Although, I guess we'll wait here for a second to come back with the mini shots. I mean, Jesse does deserve a full shot.
Can I have your shot glass?
Okay. Oh, I'll be... This is strong stuff.
Oh.
This is no joke.
You need a mini shot?
Well, I'm going to have the full shot since you're right. Jesse does deserve the full shot. It's
Hey, Jesse's still around.
All right. Well, I'll say, yeah.
All right,
we'll
Jesse, what's up?
All right, so Jesse here, he does have a spot on this board. He put in an S, and indeed, S is one of the ones.
Cheers, Jesse. Oh, cheers, Jack.
Thank you.
Cheers to hanging out with everybody on this stream.
Wait, I just realized that, like, there we go.
On this stream.
Cheers, yes. Cheers. Okay.
Hey, 2 letters guess. Nice.
Woo! Oh my god.
Wow, that's strong. Okay. Well, since Jesse gave $2 to guess and he didn't have to, I'm going to take another mini shot. This is for you, Jesse.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. And now we have the first letter.
Looks like you're staying strapped.
He's definitely staying strapped. The first letter S, the last letter R. It is a place. And that's part of the hangman portion of this fun. So thank you, Jesse, for your support. Whew. That was
man, the Don Julio strong.
I ain't no joke. I don't joke around.
Strong. All right.
Whew.
Well, we still have 12 backers. We had one so far. This was fun. Thanks everybody.
Yeah.
And all the different super chats and the hangman guesses.
Yeah. So
wonder if someone will get the word.
What are we on next?
Well, we talked about the Queen.
We talked about Queen.
The Queen. We talked about nonviolent communication.
NBC. We talked about the Anarchists HBO show.
The Anarchist HBO show. Yeah.
If someone wants to throw us a question as a super, we can do that too.
Yeah, we'll take questions through super chats. Still doing the hangman. Any $5 super
That's still
chat.
coming through.
And yeah, $25 are up on the campaign. We'll take another shot. Well, I'll take a mini shot. And Jack will take, a regular one.
That's true. That's true. So, I guess
or I'll give you a mini one if it's too much.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I'm ready for the big boy shots.
Is our tolerance the same though? Like you're feeling the same level as me now?
I assume so. I don't know. Maybe. Possibly.
That's funny.
Yeah. So the fun other fun things from this week, the whole Biden up on the stage with the red lights.
With the red lights.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it was kind of it's in itself, it doesn't communicate much. It's just the imagery of him being, in this ominous lighting and, the kind of the black lectern really gives people that sense that, he's a bad guy kind of thing. It's kind of funny how just the superficial things that you see about someone can really change your opinion on them
whenever something notable happens.
Right. And it's like, I don't know what it is, but for some people, they seem to really get that how bad of a guy Biden is just because, he staged with some red lighting. It's like,
who? You mean some people were like, oh,
like,
my God.
I finally see him in the villainous light he really is,
Oh, it took some red light for you to see this.
Yeah.
Took some Hollywood effects.
He's just a meat puppet, man. It's like,
well,
he is a literal meat puppet at this point.
At this point, yeah. But I try to remind people, like, he had a history. Okay, his hands aren't just clean. Okay,
oh no, he's an evil guy.
Hands.
I mean, straight up.
He was vice president for Obama. Like, okay, this guy, sure, maybe, just like anyone who's old and gets to like 90, past 90, you may start developing dementia as your brain starts to deteriorate in your body because you're old and you're literally dying.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but it doesn't change that he himself was very cognizant for the like 4+ decades he's been a career politician. So anyway, some people are like, oh, he's just a puppet. He's just an old man.
Oh, he is he is at this point. He is just a meat puppet. But his history, of course, is doing the crony deals.
How did he
get
there? Well, very, very crony.
His name was Pedo Pete in his son's phone for a reason. And obviously,
wow, that's crazy. That should be like news everywhere.
Should be.
That's just like a meme, and you have to like know about it to know that Hunter Biden called his dad Pedo Pete.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
But, and then, of course, with the footage from Hunter's laptop, you get a real sense of what they're into and what, things have been passed down with his kids in terms of the types of interests they have and him, being around a bunch of clearly young girls that are definitely not of any remote age to be engaged in the things that they are doing with him. So
they're just kids.
Yeah. Literally. So it's pretty sick, pretty evil. They're just evil people. Just like the Queen.
Yeah. And her son, Prince Andrew, but they cover up. But the Queen, God save the Queen. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, I just love the fact that, like, when I have these opportunities where you can actually see when push comes to shove, who is actually principled, who actually has the spirit of 1776 in them, and who was just like, I just want to look proper. And, she was just a nice lady who would wave at parades. And it's like, nah, dude.
She was so elegant.
She was the face
I know.
of the mass murder and the mass theft empire. She was the PR agent trying to make them look good. Right. That's about it. Just trying to keep the peace. Hey,
and covering up all the
checks,
crimes.
Thanks.
Covering up actual crimes from her family.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe partaking herself. Who knows?
I'm just saying, she's 96. I don't know how that baby's
maybe adrenochrome.
I don't know. But yeah, it's something where their family ties and their history make it so it's not very much a stretch to consider that she at least knew or was covering up some of
no one's here has said it in the chat.
Things that
I don't think my audience is like that. It was just other people we saw.
Yeah.
But of course, this is the world of over 7 billion people. There's going to be
all kinds of
opinions.
Definitely. Definitely.
Cool. Well, see, we're at 1 hour and 40. Guess we'll go for 20 more minutes and see if we can get this word guessed. Or maybe we'll take more mini shots. We'll see.
Right. The word we have YAD. I would do with any super chat. We'll do another letter guess right now to move it along. And
let's just. I think we should just give the letter for Jesse. I think. Like, why not just?
Oh, another letter?
Almost like give a hint.
No, there's no hint. The hint's already there. The hint.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot Jesse guessed.
He guessed. He already did that.
Sorry, I had too many shots for Jesse.
Yeah,
so
I think you already.
That's where I forgot.
A little slippy.
All right, what's the letters in the middle?
Slippy.
We didn't get all the vowels yet. You have Yad.
We have.
You only have one vowel
Yad.
guest.
Yad.
Anyone? Hello, Imperial.
Begins
Good
with the S, ends with
evening.
the R.
Vampire. Right. Halloween's coming up. Or maybe you do that anyway, regardless if it's Halloween. All right. $25 and up on the campaign. And we take another mini shot. And I'll
take a
pour
big
you a
shot.
minute. You will do a
No, I'm
big
gonna
shot.
do a full shot,
Okay.
full
Jack
shot.
will do a big shot. I'm going to do a mini shot because my tolerance is really, really tiny.
Really tiny.
You ever see like a movie of like a Korean movie or Japanese or Chinese movie and they're drinking alcohol? You know what they drink out of? They drink beer out of like a little tiny shot glass.
They do.
Yeah, that's how small my tolerance is.
Well, yeah, I mean, if
Say
you
I'm
watch
allergic.
Asian movies, like a lot of the times you'll see that the protagonist, they drink the beer, they'll pour into smaller glasses. So they'll even
They drink the
they'll
beer.
take the beer.
They drink the beer.
Right. I drink the beer.
That's the name of a beer. It's called the beer. Just kidding. All right, yeah. What else you guys want to talk about? Bueller?
No, Bueller. No, I'll talk about anything. Obviously, someone had asked like about Hoppa. Things on Hoppa. I got strong opinions.
When you said
Very
you'll talk
strong.
about anything, it reminded me of people who are like, I'll do anything.
I'll do anything.
But I guess
No, I won't do
saying anything is really different from, or talking about anything is different from
much different.
doing.
So the the anti-state song here, specifically.
Oh, can we finally play it after an hour and 40 minutes? We can finally play the song.
We could, we could, but I'm not going to. I am going to keep it a mystery.
I guess you guys can look at the campaign for yourself then, I guess, and see the song.
I want people to actually check it out.
I really like it. It gives me a very like ethereal feel. I feel very like motivated, and I love it. It's great.
Well, we could also show people some of the the perks stuff of that, because we have like the sticker. We have the signed photo. We have coasters. We're doing some coasters. Yeah, not the rubbery kind, but more like the firm kind. We have the Anti-State t-shirt. Also in terms of where'd the other one go?
I like the shirt. So the shirt, we're actually going to sign that in gold or silver Sharpie. Yeah, so we'll do higher quality lettering, permanent fabric marker kind of thing. Oh yes, not a Sharpie. I'm sorry, not a Sharpie. An actual fabric marker. Fabric marker. Yeah. So check out the perks. You want to scroll through them? See? Yeah, we could just take a quick look here. So, all right, what's 25 and up? So there's behind the scenes teaser. That's more a digital thing. And then, excuse me, die cut sticker, which is gonna be cool. So that'll be fitted to like, and our logo there is super sick. It's like definitely more like a metal bandy looking thing. I just wanted to have something that was kind of hardcore. The signed set photo, so a picture from the set. That was a cool scene actually from our last music video. I like using stuff and you get all the stuff. Most of these stack. So you could also get a credit with no physical perks. So in other words, if you just like, I would love to see my name up in the music video credits, you can do that as well and save a little money just by having no physical perks, no shipping and stuff like that. So if you want your name up on the next music video, it's a lot of fun to see. I love being able to see that in everybody. Anti-State coaster set. That will get you the 4 coasters, set photo, die cut sticker, behind the scenes teaser. There's the roll credit with the perks. So you get all the cool perks, roll credit as well. And the coaster set, the photo, sticker, and stuff like that. Then there's the t-shirt, which comes also with the roll credit. So you get credit and the t-shirt and all the other goodies that comes along with it. And then, of course, the big ones. We have the executive end credit. So that's like your big solo screen at the end. You can put your name, your business. You can put the website too. You can say executive producer. And so if you have a business you want to shout out, you can definitely do that. And there's the opening credit. So the opening credit, same thing. You can do name, alias, business. It has to be your own business, your own products. You can't do shout outs for others just because obviously it'd be legal issues. People coming after us like, what? I don't support your stuff. Yeah, of course. That's how it goes. But you have the opening credit there in the video. So our last video had Jason Rankin, which is pretty cool. He's awesome. He's an awesome documentarian producer and does a lot of work in film himself. So we're making our way. And I don't know where Fo went, but here we are. All right. So Darius says, do you ever have guests on StreamYard? Yes, we definitely, when we do interviews, we have
set through StreamYard, so people get invited through StreamYard to talk and things like that. We haven't done a guest thing directly in a while, actually. Maybe we should. But it's just we've been so busy. Honestly, we have been working on a number of projects simultaneously because we have the voluntarist thing going on. Obviously, that's been hefty. We have a top secret project that I want to tell you about, but we're going to keep it secret till it comes out. So top secret projects taking up time and resources.
True.
Then
I'm excited for that.
we have trips. We're going to Students for Liberty conference in Miami. As far as it stands, we're going to do this next music video. So we're going to New York and stuff like that. Fingers crossed, everything works out. So we've just been going kind of nonstop. So we haven't as much time to be like, hey, let's do a live stream with an interview, a guest or something like that. But we probably, should in the near future. So yeah, this is a good. What if Quiles had information that led to the arrest of Hillary Clinton? I mean, she did have information that would lead to her arrest. Absolutely. But are they going to share it? Definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, I don't think that's why she died.
No.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I think she's just old.
There's always that question of like who yeah, right, actually knows what within those circles. So but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Great.
So on the topics.
Oh my gosh, we have 13 backers.
Uh-oh. Someone just went in.
What happens if someone does 50? Does that mean we double stack? You have to do 2 mini shots?
No, it's just supposed to be per support. So
someone could game it. They could be like,
but
then again, they wouldn't want to because they might want a certain.
We're about to see what it is.
Oh, let's see what perk you got. Did someone get a roll credit?
No idea. So we do. That means you have to do a shot. Credits. So pass.
Okay, let me go get you
the shot.
Some Dawn.
So yeah, this is pretty exciting. Thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of this and supporting us and believing us. It really does mean a lot, and being able to kind of be in the forefront of this liberty culture stuff is pretty freaking sweet. Just being able to do this with you, and actually kind of inspire the next generation too. I definitely I'm really thankful for a lot of people who have told me.
Okay, I gotta show you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm thankful too.
Wait, hold on. She's coming in here. Okay.
So this is what I have to do. So
so you have to.
It's so big, you pour it in this thing like a measuring cup.
Yeah.
And then that's how I pour it in the little.
That works. I mean, hey, it works. It works. Okay,
I'm sorry. You were saying you're so grateful.
Oh, you're good. No, I was just saying I'm super grateful because it's a daunting thing. It's always been tough. It's always been tough to try to talk about these messages in a world where obviously lots of people don't like you for all kinds of reasons, not even just the liberty side of things and talk about the principles, but people just, they just want to try to bring you down and stop you any way they can. And so it's just so encouraging to have
shame you and be like, oh, you're so crazy.
Yeah, you're stupid. What are you doing? And that's just it. Is it's like when you're someone who's on the cutting edge of things, and especially when it's an important ethical discussion, it really takes a lot of tenacity. And that goes for anybody, for you who's watching. You know what I mean? You're a part of that early culture, just like people who were abolitionists, right, in the 1600s. They would be being laughed at, like, what are you talking about? You're going to get rid of slavery? Slavery's always been around. Slavery's everywhere. Please, maybe you could just reform it or something, but you're not getting rid of slavery, right? It's the same thing. You have that huge historical, intellectual hurdle to overcome, but the efforts that you put in are not for nothing. They inspire others. They create a chain reaction of people who suddenly start to realize the value of that change in thinking. And so we're at it. And I think not only are we at it, but we're at a point where you're seeing this become mainstream. This is no longer something that's just, it's, a couple people at a nerdy convention. Like, we're seeing this on Fox News. Or
you have
Russia Today.
The term anarcho-capitalist covered on Fox News and referred to, and now it's on the domestic terrorist list.
Right. The government's saying, that's a good one too, right? Talk about that. How they're like, ANCAPs are now terrorists, right? Yeah.
Oh wait, I think you made a meme about it. It's so funny.
All right, so let's see what this is. What this shot is.
It was like a Winnie the Pooh one.
So this is a very generous support here.
This is a big support.
I'm gonna do math. I think it's. Oh wait, maybe I don't even know.
Okay, look. So this one's like.
Oh yeah.
I'm an ANCAP. Oh wait, you can't see.
You can't even
because
see it. It's too small. Here you go. Here you go. You gotta.
All right, so this one's like, I'm an ANCAP. I'm on the FBI's watch list.
Right.
The Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I mean, that's just that should be a sign to you just how much these ideas have manifested to a point that they're so recognized. They're so recognized in the culture.
It's to give you hope that like it's like not unjustified hope either. You know, it's
something
it actually makes a difference,
right? It's something that is really becoming something that's permeating across the board. This is no longer something that's just like, who knows about this? Like, no, it's like literally you're seeing Michael Malice on you know, billboards in Times Square,
right?
You're seeing major celebrity people go onto like, you know, things like Joe Rogan, Tim Cass, and other stuff like that, and there's major outlets, and you know, associating with like big people with huge followings with Jordan Peterson and stuff like that. It's really incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of at this forefront of that culture, and for us, we're at that groundswell because I'll pat the back or toot the horn. I don't care at this point with, you know, because we've done the work, but we're at that beginning level of like starting that cultural change. Like we've always been one of those people who's been the forerunners of the ideas and signaling and putting out the radical formations in the mass media world, right? Kicking off those types of viral trends, whether it's abolish the ATF or taxation stuff, whatever. We've been there consistently trying to, you know, push that out there in the culture.
Or like during COVID, disobey.
Right.
I did not consent. I mean, those mask orders,
you know,
all those 3 music videos were in response to all the crazy lockdowns and the whole, you know, you could say next major phase in the plan for this creation of a one world government, a new world order, you know. So that's what it was all about, like just trying to get people to encapsulate, like, you know, what is the fundamental thing that we should be focused on here, you know, right? Like at the core, right? I did not consent to taxation. I did not consent to the theft of my land, and I did not consent to being like a perpetual neo-feudal serf who can never really truly own their own property, you know. So that's yeah. So anyway, thanks for believing in us, and those of you who already supported. I mean, the latest backer, that's awesome.
Heck yeah, dude. Thank you.
Now we're over 1,100. That's awesome. So cheers to you. I'm going to take 2 mini shots for that. That's a big support.
Cheers to you on that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
All right. Hopefully we can get to New York. Now we're 22% of the way funded. We'll see. Thank you to whoever that was. You can see how red I'm getting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But that was a big support. Like I said, here's another mini shot. Okay, cheers.
I could probably light my breath with that.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just.
Do we need to order you food?
No, we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Right now, I just gotta survive. All right.
I just want to nurture and take care of you.
I appreciate it, but we're doing this for the camaraderie.
It's like every time I take a shot, I like freeze.
Right.
You could like take a picture of every face you make after you take a shot.
Right. Oh my gosh. So
whoa, Matt.
Thank you so much for support. He could
try to get us drunk.
Well, this
can
is
he have 5 guesses?
He's picking a letter.
Oh, can he have multiple?
Yeah, for 30. Yeah, definitely. We'll do 3.
15, okay, do 3 letters. 3 letters.
3 guesses, Matt. 3 guesses.
Also, I like what Banana Booey said. Are you from New York? Because your name's Banana Booey. He says, we got to talk the talk before we can do the walk. Sorry, I just assume you're from New York and you're a dude.
Right.
I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. Maybe you Chinese. All right. Thanks, Mercenary DBU. Stay dangerous as well. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. And thank you for whoever was the supporter on that last one. I'm not going to check it at the moment, but if you want to say you just run the campaign, you can shout out there, but we don't dox people here. We don't do that. So
it's like, can they guess a letter too? Damn, that was great support. Okay, Matt.
So Matt's up for his being able to pick 3 letters.
Like 3 letters.
We'll do 3 letters.
You could go through like all the vowels. Okay, not all.
All right. So he says E, T, and H.
Ooh.
Okay. This is about to get interesting.
See.
So
do we have an E?
Well, yes.
Okay, but you're gonna draw first.
I'm going to put the E here.
Okay, there we go.
And then
E.
my brushes, or I don't even know. Yeah. So T. Sorry, this is not very professional looking, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. 5 guesses, 3 right. I mean, 8 total. 3 right out of 8.
Okay. So he got one of those 3. And if I can get my cursor to work, okay. 1 and then
Oh my gosh,
2.
is it almost Hangman?
It's there's sometimes people do like
I
Hangman
like.
with
I
hats
love
or
drawing a
eyes.
hat and faces.
Yeah, so we might do face and hat. We'll see.
Let's do face and hat.
So
I
Matt,
love drawing the top hat. Did you draw the top hat, or did you do like a baseball cap?
Sometimes.
I always did the top hat. I don't know why. Okay. Childhood.
Okay.
Speaking of, we didn't talk about childhood this stream, this whole 1 hour and 55.
But thank you so much, Matt, for your support.
Yeah,
And thanks for getting us closer in this Hangman part, because we are S and then ER. So whatever this word, it's a place, S, ER, it ends ER. So it's wait, okay, yeah. I was like, did I spell this right? Okay, I was like, wait, I was freaking out for a second. I'm like, okay.
You did.
So
there's such good comments, man. We got Travis saying still got slavery. IRS is the handlers. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, we've had this phrase that says like taxation is theft, but I think taxation is slavery makes much more sense.
It's it's all a part of that. I think it's because of the T, the assignment to the T's. That's why it sounds really good. And people feel theft more because it's taking away your money. So it just rolls off a bit better.
Yeah, I get it.
But this is
2 more appendages, right? You can draw the hands and the feet.
Well, yeah, people can do. Sometimes they do. We'll stick to the face and stuff like that. But you were saying talking about childhood or something. Yeah. Oh, I guess she's grabbing some more alcohol. So childhood. What specifically we talk about there? Because I was just recently rereading. The Origins of War in Child Abuse by Lloyd DeMause. That is an incredible book. I cannot recommend it enough. So if the Origins of War in Child Abuse, I can't even find a print copy of it, but it's available for free online. You can Google it and you can find a PDF or the web. There's a website that's still up from his I guess posthumously. He died in 2020. Thank you. But
he died.
It's a psychohistory book, which means that it covers kind of an analysis of people's psychologies in like group theory and in larger scale, I guess you could say of analyzing different social situations, especially when it comes to entire groups of people within a certain demographic society, governments, and things like that. And one of the things that was very powerful was talking about how a lot of war propaganda stems from the idea of protecting motherland. And it's this idea of connecting to the mother, that you anthropomorphize the nation state, you humanize it as a mother, and you appeal to those things to get to people to like really want to be, bought into the idea of defending those who are currently ruling, right? By buying into, there's the motherland. This is your mother you're protecting, and like having those maternal connections and wanting that maternal approval, that it's a part of the messaging. And he provides a lot of really great evidence for this. This is not just something that he's just like blathering on about. He shows the pictures of the war propaganda posters across the world, very many different governments, especially in the 20th century and before. But a lot of 20th century, you have really recent examples of war propaganda posters that use this maternal imagery to sell the war to people from World War I and II and so forth. So it's a really powerful.
I would say his book almost argues, though, it kind of going into the whole chicken or egg question, which came first, government tyranny and war, or abuse, like childhood abuse amongst even by your own parents. So exactly, I think that's what was really fascinating to me, is like he goes into the historical events surrounding like this whole cycle of violence throughout human history. We've all been passed down, like from centuries ago, people actually killing their own children because they had too much, they don't have enough food, they abandon the baby, There's also been many cases of rape and incest in families throughout history. So you have all these different humans around the world, right? Just inheriting different levels of cycles of violence, you know, and depending on what family you come from, maybe your own family was able to break out of it, right? Like one individual, you know, figured out how to do something better, right? And more healthy, you know, and more peaceful. But yeah, it's a really fascinating book. I actually, I told Jack about that a few years ago when we met, and I had first heard about this book like 10 years ago. It was like in a podcast as well, just going through it. So yeah, it was really eye-opening, and I just can't believe it's not something that's really not talked about. You know, it's so critical. Like, why do people act the way that they do? Well, often it's, you know, if someone's violent, like why do people go to war? Why does someone choose to murder somebody else or initiate violence? Chances are they themselves had violence initiated against them at some point, you know, and it was normalized for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we are tasked with in our current lifetimes, like if you're alive right now, I mean, you have to if you're watching this, you know, to choose to figure out if there's a better way, a more peaceful way, and not actually have war anymore, and not beat your kids, not spank your kids, not shame them into compliance, but actually have a world based on truth and philosophy and reality and, you know, specifics that talk about, you know, what's going on for people and honesty. So.
Yeah. It's a big topic. I mean, definitely we should talk some more about that, but I do have to say that we did get another backer on the campaign. Wow. So that means we have to do another shot.
Whoa. Okay.
So it got really somber for a second, but the party has just gotten back.
All right. Well, see, that's why I don't have to move.
Yeah. So thank you for whoever just supported.
Thank you.
Cheers to that.
You're seeing me get pinker and pinker. Same with Jack. You got some pink cheeks.
Pretty freaking pink right now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to liberty and life.
Yes.
Why?
Cheers. Here we go.
You just said cheers. All right. Cheers to whoever.
Salute. Oh.
Salute. Mazel tov. Oh my God.
Wow. That is strong.
It's the Don Julio. It's 40%.
I've had Everclear. I've had Moonshine. I've had it all. I've had it all. But that is strong.
Cheers.
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 All right. Darius says, would it be more appropriate for local government to replace property tax with just utility fees or electric? And he says, I pick I and N. Are there more clues? Okay. So okay. I'm just regaining my consciousness.
I don't know about appropriate. That's more just like someone's own subjective. It's more of a subjective question. Like, which one would you prefer rather? In terms of just ethics, both are theft, right? It's just government. It's still taxation. You know, it's just moving it from property to sales.
Well, I'd say more specifically that property tax utility fees are already independent fees. Those utility fees with water electric are already separate, right? When you do water electric, you do based on usage. And some people have private, some people have city, you're municipal. Right. So that's, either the government's providing that in some cases, like in other words, the government owns the water treatment facility. That's at least closer to reality. If they didn't have a monopoly on it, that would be a great start, right? Just so you have competition in the market. But, you know, utility fees actually make sense. And as long as you're not fined for not using it, like you're not fined for not using water, you don't have a lien on your house because you want to disconnect from the grid, that's the real issue. But property tax, you know, that's just, I mean, at least this is how it's written now. That's a perpetual fee on your land that if you don't pay, you know, they're going to come take it. They're going to sell your house, auction it, whatever. Sometimes they have some like intermediate steps where they like put a, you know, they say, oh, would someone like to claim your taxes for a year, and they'll pay, you'll have to pay interest to a private person. There's interesting stuff out there in terms of the legal stuff, but at the end of the day, they can come take your house essentially. Yeah. So there's a lot of different incrementalisms on this. I just don't want it at all.
Well, because the utility fees kind of denotes a monopoly on the utilities, doesn't it? Like,
no, because if you're using,
or then it would just be a sales tax. So like, could you have well, then it'd be like, okay, open up competition of utility companies, so you actually get a choice in different energy companies. You yourself can compete and start your own if you want.
Right.
But then it would just be a sales tax. Then it's like, okay,
it's not a tax at all. If you're
utility fee.
Correct. If we're talking utility fee, we're talking about you're paying for what you use in water, unless you're saying a tax on top of that, which a fee is not a tax. A fee is based on usage.
This is just assuming the government has that monopoly.
Right. So the monopoly should be ended, obviously. But if we're talking about even just an incrementalism, which again, I'm not saying that I'm want this as an ideal, but I think a lot of people have already gotten in their heads this idea, like as an acceptability, that if there's a property tax, it should be one time, not every freaking year. And then you lose your house, right? It should be, okay, one time at the opening, just like anything else. You pay sales tax one time, and that's it. So I don't obviously support that, not at all. But it's an incrementalism that I think that a lot of people could get behind in terms of just psychologically, right? Like just trying to get people who are in the deep state of saying like, hey, why do we have to pay this every year, property tax, just to own your home? Shouldn't it just be one time you pay it and that's it? It's the deed is registered and then you don't pay anything else unless it's getting sold or something like that, right? That is even itself an incrementalism to get rid of this freaking oppressive neo-feudalism where you have to pay every year and they're changing on you, don't know what to expect, and all of a sudden, boom, you know what I mean? You have grandmas losing their homes. I think that is just like school choice. Again, I don't think school choice brings liberty. But it does bring people thinking about choices, like the idea of getting money out of the state of school. So,
I like Darius's question.
You know, it's something that can be argued as an incrementalism to just get status out of that mindset.
Okay, so you would argue that it's probably just, I mean, if you had to choose, it would be better. Like if you got the choice and you would want to choose whether this passes or not, then I would say, yeah, replacing property tax. So you can actually, like you said, own your property, right? Like,
I would, the ideal would be
opposed to
upend property tax entirely. Of course, that's the ultimate ideal, or to just make it one time where it's no longer something that's like, you have to pay this every year and it's constantly changing the millage rate based on assessments, the random assessments of the property assessor, which doesn't even match market value, whatever. It's just made up nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be a better step. Just like, instead of, probably won't get eliminating all income taxes, but I mean, I'm sorry, all taxes. But if you start with income and property taxation, oh my gosh, you know how much more wealth everyone would have, and you could actually keep your house and no longer like you pay off your mortgage and you're an old person on a fixed income. You can't get kicked out of your house because you can't afford the property tax. Like all that evil shit would end.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, definitely Darius. I mean, it'd be a great, like you said, incrementalism for liberty.
Right. It's an incrementalism. It's not the solution. I don't approve of it as a permanent thing, but I do approve it as
it's like school choice.
People trying to get out
it's of like, okay, you get a voucher from the property taxes pool. Right. That's so theft and crony and socialist. But
and the reason
am I gonna like argue and spend all my time against it? No. I mean, I'll I'm not gonna spend my time promoting it either. I'm gonna focus on the principles. But if some people are gonna do that, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's superficially better, whatever. And okay, Darius says he picks I and N. All right. And he says, are there more clues besides it being a place?
So there are no more clues, but I and N are coming in.
Okay.
Whether you like it or not. So where's my letter thing? Okay. Okay, so we have I. But then we have what? Okay, what? This is supposed to be pinned. What the heck? Why is this not staying?
Oh, what's not staying?
The top bar. I want it pinned, but whatever.
Oh yeah. You just do
what was the pin?
Home.
Yeah, whatever.
And then there's supposed to be
a little, there it is. I see the pin. I found the pin.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh my gosh, I am the pin master. Okay, so. The N.
Oh, you're getting so close. Like, what's in the middle?
All right, so now
SI and then ends with ER. So what's in the middle?
We're gonna give it a face. We're gonna give him a face.
Yeah, let's give him face. You can give him hands.
No. That's too much. So we'll do.
Okay, an eye. One eye.
There we go.
2 eyes.
Okay.
Okay, no.
So it's a place. We have SI and then an ER.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Darius.
So
Coming
Darius
in
just
hot.
came in.
All right, I'll take a shot for that because he solved it. I want to solve Sizzler. Oh, that's the word. That's
He
the
got it.
word. You got
It
it.
is. It is.
Got it, Darius.
He got it. He definitely got it. It is Sizzler. So after like, who's been to? I haven't been to Sizzlers in sweet Lord.
I never even heard of that. I thought
Sizzler?
is that not like a sound effect? Sizzler.
No.
Is that not a chef? He's a sizzler,
No.
like he sizzles burgers.
No.
He's a sizzler.
No.
But that's a restaurant? What
That's
kind
a
of
restaurant.
restaurant? Do they have burgers?
They were popular in the 90s.
They have burgers?
I don't. I haven't been to a Sizzler since I was living in New York.
Anyone been to Sizzler? Sizzler?
So,
Oh, Travis says not in
look,
years. I miss it. Oh.
right? I'm sorry. I brought that all back from your memories from back in the day.
Whoa, doing business.
Sizzler
Wow.
restaurants.
Whoa, USDA choice sticks. Oh my,
There
USDA.
you go. There's the Sizzler.
What? USDA.
So for all you who knew about Sizzlers from back in the 90s, welcome to your childhood.
Oh, Darius says he's never been, though. He is from Jersey.
He's from Jersey.
They're still
He
around.
did solve the puzzle.
Wow, good
Good job.
kudos to you, Darius.
He did it. He came in clutch.
You're awesome. All right. Like I said, here's a mini shot for you because he solved it. Woohoo! Yeah. It takes a village. Am I right? Just kidding. Quoting that.
Don't quote
That
Hillary
be
Clinton on this
Hillary
stream.
Clinton.
On this private ANCAP server. You will not quote Hillary Clinton ever again.
That's like a term, like, you know how status may get triggered if you say taxation is theft? That's like how you trigger a libertarian. It takes a village. You say some collectivish like that. It's
That's
like,
so
get
true.
out of here.
Get out of here.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers to that. Wow. So
Oh, that's strong.
you're getting really sweaty and red.
I'm not sweaty. I'm just red.
You're just shiny. Okay. Western Sizzler.
Oh, is that? I never heard of Sizzler. There's probably no Sizzler in the
Yeah.
West.
Well, wow.
Well, this has been fun.
has been fun.
So we're gonna do this. It's September. It's only the first Friday of September. There's 3 more Fridays to go in this month.
There
So
are.
you will see us. You can see there's 22 days left. So yeah, we'll be streaming every Friday at 9 p.m. for the rest of this month of September. So hope to see you next time. And it was fun with all the questions that you guys had and the topics that came up. And the shots
and the shots.
and how, like, I feel like you could like go to the beginning and see my face and it's like, tan, yellow.
Although I do want to see.
And then you
is somebody gonna
move
throw
all
a
the way
shot
to
in?
the end and I'm like tan, yellow, red. So it just kind of one last shot. All right.
I'm throwing it out. Is there one last shot? Because I'm honestly going to be pretty blitzed at this point because I think I'm at least 4.
I'm worried.
I'm 4 shots deep.
Can
right?
I order this?
Holy crap! I don't know if you can order that, but we'll see.
I don't order it. You like House on Fire?
I do like House on Fire. She's trying to like get me something to sober up, I guess.
Yeah. You haven't eaten anything.
Yeah. Well, I haven't eaten anything in a while, but pickup time. What do you mean pickup time?
I was gonna pick it up.
How are we gonna pick it up? We've been
Okay, I'll
drinking.
get delivery. Jeez.
Jesus.
All I had was baby shots, mini shots.
You can't pick up food after we've had a bunch of shots. It's like,
All the status out there. See you in a libertarian
yeah, I know,
society.
in a libertarian
Well,
society.
I'll tell you what. In a libertarian society, libertarian wives have libertarian husbands to talk to them about their decisions.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
In any case, I don't know if we're getting one.
I don't know
last
why I talk like
I would do one
I'm
last
from
shot.
the West
Cheers.
Coast, like I'm a Valley girl from the West or something. Maybe because I am.
You are from the coast. But
I'm just wilding out. All right, John.
Wilding
Rest in peace. You're absolutely right. That's
R.I.P.
what's going on. Rest in peace. All right, preparing our order.
that's
Thanks.
good.
Thanks, the market.
Thanks to the market. Oh my goodness. Well, in
I
any
really
case,
like these mini
if a last
shots.
shot comes in,
This
we will
was
do
fun.
it. If a last shot comes in, we will do it. But seriously, thank you so much, everybody, for helping us be able to do all these cool projects with the music videos, stuff like that. It really is pretty awesome to be able to have been part of making this happen. Actually, do super awesome Liberty Orton music videos. And again, there's lots of people make music videos, right? But there's very few people who actually are really anti-state, principled, consistent, calling out specifics in their stuff. a lot of the anti-state stuff out there is just commies and socialists and stuff like that. Like,
you mean in terms of music?
In terms of music video, yeah, you don't
Yeah,
get
definitely,
that kind of like principle voluntarism.
Even Dead Prez are one of my favorite. They have an
Yeah.
album called Let's Get Free.
Right.
And it's like one of my favorite albums. But yeah, I mean, they themselves like are saying like, yeah, we need to organize the hood into a socialist society. I don't think they understand though. I think, you know, often what people, and I don't blame them, like most people, when you ask them like, what do you think socialism is? They probably wouldn't describe it as anything about, they probably wouldn't even bring up property rights. Most people don't even know what the heck that is. Like, or don't use that word, you know, property rights, right? Like they don't really.
I think so, at least in this part of the country.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. But I just think that when you think like socialism, most people think like, oh, okay, it's like social programs for the welfare of people, right? It's
right. Workplace democracy.
Using government to help people. That's what people, I think, have. That's the impression most people have. Like that's the normie impression of socialism. Just like the normie impression of democracy. They think democracy means consent when it's not, when it's actually just mob rule, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's when democracy is forced, obviously it's not consent, because if the vote takes place and it affects you regardless whether you participate and it's forced upon you, well, that ain't exactly you consent to anything. That's forced mob rule.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love the comments. This has been so fun. You guys are awesome. There's been a lot of people, recurring fans, and also a lot of new faces.
Also, I need to say,
a lot of people I have not met. Oh yeah, you want to point out your Florida man here?
Forgive me in advance. Yes. So I should note that I've been trying to do my hair in preparation for this music video. You can kind of see it here. Let me see here. You can kind of see.
Oh, here you come
on that side. Okay. Yeah. So I've been basically trying to get ready for this music video growing out. So I'm in the awkward in between stage, where I think is one of our friends said I look like.
I
look like the village idiot.
I get why people like, if for the feel, I get why people wear mullets. It's like if I was a dude, you like have like soft hair in the back, but then on the side, you know, if you're in the hot South, you know, like we are in Florida, keep the sides cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wear a wig if I need to, if it, you know, if that comes down to it. But I'm trying to see if I can grow something out interesting for this music video. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be in New York, and honestly, I'm kind of scared. New York's not a safe place.
Well, we gotta stay strapped.
In
New York.
You gotta stay strapped.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Battle Angel. Cool that you found us too. I mean, that's awesome. And yeah, you'll definitely see us again. We'll be streaming every Friday this month for sure. So hope to see you next time. We'll see you at 9 p.m. next Friday. And yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you. Yeah. And
thanks for all the shots.
Seriously. Yes. Thank you so much for just helping make this happen, because we're going to make you proud. It's going to be something that you're going to be like, okay, this is cool. You're going to want to share it.
I'm so excited. This is New York City. I mean, this is going to be incredible.
It's going to be something.
Shoot the video. It'll fit the vibe. What kind of vibe you're going? Dystopian vibe of the music video.
Dystopian vibe.
Definitely New York City is a great backdrop for a dystopian music video, just like it is the backdrop for many dystopian movies throughout history. You'll see.
All right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging with us. See you later. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.